All right, so welcome back to the Pop Font Podcast. This is episode 16, I believe. If you like what you see here, go check out our previous episodes. They're all on YouTube. And okay, so I saw this. It was a post on, I don't know, some other podcast did it or whatever. And it's like an insane versus question, like
Okay.
a death battle situation type thing.
Okay, yeah.
Let me pull up the whole thing because it's absolutely ridiculous. All right, and it's kind of funny because whoever came up with it obviously thought that they were cooking something up, but the question's for you, so I'll let you answer. But I just gave away what the correct answer is right there. You'll see when I get to it. Okay. All right. So the versus is every single team that I'm about to list is on the same side. They're all working together.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll list which members, and all the versions of these teams are like the specific versions that I mentioned. Okay. So it's the Boys TV show versions of Homelander, A-Train, Starlight, Queen Maeve, Translucent, Black Noir, and The Deep, which are all just Justice League ripoffs. So just, whatever, if you don't know who some of those people are, just imagine it doesn't matter. They're all weak anyway. So then the Fox X-Men. So Iceman, Quicksilver, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Storm, Jean, Wolverine, and Colossus.
Okay.
The original 6 Avengers from the first movie: Iron Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Captain America, and Thor.
Sure.
The new Guardians of the Globe and Invincible: Black Samson, Robot, Monster Girl, the Shrinking Chick, Bulletproof, Martian Man, Rexplode, and Duplicate. And I have no idea why this team is on this list because they're super irrelevant, but the Rogue One crew, the Star Wars Rogue One crew.
What the fuck?
Jin.
Just killing them for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. Jin, Cassian, K2SO, the 2 like Jedi Temple Guard guys, and then the pilot. And they are going up against the original 7 Justice League. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hal or John, you can pick whichever, doesn't matter. Martian Manhunter, The Flash, Wally or Barry, again, doesn't really matter. And then Aquaman.
I mean, that's it?
That's it. Those 7 versus all those other people.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I was under the impression that the Boys were like more beatable than the Justice League members. And I thought it was by like a noticeable margin, but maybe that was, I mean, I haven't seen the show really, so
when I said that, I just meant that they're like just supposed to reflect them. They're not even remotely as close.
I see what you mean.
It's like Homelander is Superman, but like a little bitch version. Analogy. Yeah. A-Train is the Flash, so on and so forth.
They seemed, from the clips that I saw, which were, I mean, countless minutes, they looked pretty. They didn't look that particularly insanely strong. Obviously, Homelander, but then he got fucked. So I mean, none of them seem that crazy. So I just think they're a non-factor basically in this. I mean, the Avengers are cool. I mean, in the original movie, obviously is kind of funny, because why the fuck would you choose that other than to make this even easier? So, if they're that weak, I mean, it's the Avengers, but I think that battle is being lost. So who else was it? The Fox X-Men, you said?
Yeah, the Fox X-Men.
I mean, okay. I guess they're gonna add to it, but I don't think they've lost yet mathematically. So who else?
And then the new Guardians of the Globe. Not the ones that Omni-Man kills, but the replacements.
I mean, they're powerful. I think they would add to it. I think it becomes closer, but I think the Justice League still takes it. So who else?
And then the Rogue One crew. just being
Yeah, I don't think
irrelevant.
it's extremely close, but it's
I don't know why they're on the list. I was like, when they got to the
they're literally
bottom of
just
it,
lying.
bro. I
Someone
got
just wants them to die
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
When they got to the bottom of it, that was like the last one that they revealed. I was like, you're actually joking. There's no way that you're gonna do Star Wars that dirty. Like, but yeah, that's everybody though. The
But yeah,
boys, yeah,
it definitely seems like it would be annoying, but you know, I don't think it'd be easy for them. But I think they'd take it.
yeah, yeah. I was like, Superman and Flash are just gonna like split
Yeah.
bits the shit out of everybody. Like, no one's even gonna know what
That was
happened,
mainly
bro.
what was going through my mind is like Superman, Flash.
It's not even just them two though. I'm like Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Flash are all like faster than light or near faster than light speed, and nobody on any other team is.
Yeah,
Plus the fact that like Superman and Wonder Woman are also tanks that can move at FTL. So it's like,
dude, Quicksilver's getting fucking
oh yeah, Quicksilver's about to get embarrassed, bro.
destroyed. Poor guy.
Yeah. Like Aquaman can summon the Kraken. Y'all aren't ready for that. Like,
Yeah. The Deep's like, wait a second. In the 10
yeah.
seconds that he's alive or whatever in this fight, or I don't know what they prioritize, but
Yeah, I think it was just and it was like described, you know, it's like a no holds barred death battle situation. So they're going for the kill. So I was like, okay, so Flash Flash just kills everybody instantly and it's over. Like, I was like, Batman's not even going to be in the fight. He's just going to be like in the watchtower.
Batman is like Batman drew up the plans for the fight, and that might be his contribution.
Yeah. I was like, this situation is so disrespectful that the way it would play out is like Batman, it's like in the watchtower calling the plays, and each individual Justice League member takes an entire team by themselves, and then you still have like one league member just chilling on the sidelines that doesn't even have to do anything. I'm like, y'all just wanted these people to die. But yeah,
that's just not enough.
I thought it was funny, especially because like when they are like they didn't obviously, you know, in the specific versions of the teams that they chose, they were making it like the weakest versions of all those characters you could possibly pick. Especially,
I think they still thought the cumulative value,
right?
You know,
especially with like
it would be a closer.
Sure, yeah. But especially with like the X-Men and the Avengers, it's like making it the Fox movies and the original MCU Avengers. It's like, okay, that's literally the weakest versions of both those teams you could possibly find.
Yeah, kind of disrespectful, honestly.
And then the fact that they like specifically said that it could be like any iteration of the Justice League, but like not like an insane future version that where like they're gods or something like that, but like base Justice League, but it could be like from the comics or like the DCAU or whatever. And I was like, you can't do that. You can't make it the classic comics Justice League against these fucking people. They would, you know, sneeze and they'd all die. Like,
I feel like that might be the intent. Well, maybe not, but still.
But yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny. All right, we'll jump into the rankings now. So the first one, what we're gonna do? Let's do like the top 5 Force shows first.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And do you want to go first? And then we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, going back and forth.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I only had 4.
Okay. Well, I'll go first then, since I have a 5. But
sure. Is this different from shows I hate? Because I only prepared shows I hate.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
Yeah, my 5 isn't even really one that I hate. It's just incredibly.
I was stretching the definition personally. There was a quantity issue there for me.
Yeah,
thankfully.
This is the only one that I really could say that like I don't hate it, but it is objectively like the worst thing ever. And it's the Secret Invasion show that Marvel did a couple of years back, and it's just so dumb. It's so fucking stupid because like
a lot of people's list.
Yeah, well, because they tried to do the comics, you know, storyline Secret Invasion, which is that the Skrulls pretended to, you know, they shapeshift into multiple different superheroes and supervillains, and they're like, and it's revealed that they've been here for years, and you know, certain heroes and villains that people have known their whole lives or for, you know, however long. It's like, oh yeah, no, they were like deep cover alien invaders this whole time. It was a big thing. And then like in the show though, or in the MCU in general, the Skrulls were not set up as villains in Captain Marvel, right? Like they were set up as like literally the exact opposite. They were set up as like victimized refugees or whatever. And
Okay.
And so they made the Skrulls good guys way back when Captain Marvel came out. So then when they announced Secret Invasion, everyone was like, how are you going to do that? Because the Skrulls aren't evil. And then they jumped through a bunch of fucking narrative hoops to make the Skrulls evil anyway. Even though, and it's dumb because it doesn't like occur naturally. It's not like, oh, something bad happened to the Skrulls after they were, established as good guys and it turned them evil. It's just like, the Skrulls that were born on Earth, like in like the 20-year gap between like the 90s and 2020 or whatever, just resented being on Earth. And then like they had like a whole big thing about how Captain Marvel promised to find the Skrulls a new home at the end of her movie.
Yeah.
And then in Secret Invasion, they revealed that like she basically just didn't do that. And so they've been living on Earth all this time. And I'm like, why does Earth not count as their new home? Like, what are they mad about? Like, especially because they could shapeshift. I'm like, so you all just shapeshift into humans, and then you just get to live like that forever. And there's no like, it's not like there's any negative consequence of shapeshifting for their species either. It's not like sure, whatever, they can't look like they're not like their base versions of themselves.
Yeah, Miss Martian problem, whatever.
Yeah, but it's like, but even then, I'm like, you live in a world that has other aliens and stuff living on it and stuff like that. I'm like when the Asgardians came, and sure, the Asgardians look human, so it's a little bit different, but like the Asgardians came to Earth and they just built a city and all of Earth was like, yeah, okay, you can do that. That's fine. And like, and nobody had any problems with them. So I'm like, I don't understand what the Skrulls are mad about. Cause that's like the reason that they are evil in the show is cause they're upset that they don't have a home. And I'm like, you've been living on Earth for like 3 decades. You have a home. I don't get it.
It's weird, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I don't really hate that show. It's just fucking stupid because they had to shoehorn in a reason for the Skrulls to be bad all of a sudden, even though they very much established the opposite to be true in the MCU.
That's interesting. Interesting narrative direction there. Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of people shitting on this after it came out.
And there was really bad CGI too.
Ooh, that was definitely part of it. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Such a tragedy that
I think I remember seeing some of it.
Oh my god, what's her name in real life? Dany. Game of Thrones.
Emilia Clarke.
That's right. I feel like everything she's been in after Game of Thrones has just been really bad, or like guilty pleasure bad.
What has she been in?
Like honestly, that Secret Invasion, tragic.
Oh, she was in Secret Invasion.
She's like the main girl in that. It's bad.
No.
Yeah, it's so tragic. Because when she got cast in that, everyone was like, okay, maybe. Everyone was like, this could be cool. And then as more details started coming out, and then the show actually came out, everyone was like, oh, that sucks.
I mean, she wanted the check, man. I don't blame her, but
shit. Yeah. The only other thing I can think of off the top of my head is like, and she's in like some romance thing that I think actually is good. It's like her. I think it's her and the guy who played Finnick in Hunger Games are the two main people. I'm pretty sure.
Insane.
Yeah, which so I would watch the movie just for those two reasons alone. It's like Finnick and Dany in a movie together. I'd be like, bet. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen that movie. I don't think, but I think that's actually good. And then she was in one of the fucking like the second most recent Terminator movie, Genesis, I think it was called. Yeah. Which I don't hate that movie. I know a lot of people do, but like,
I think I've seen that one.
Terminator hasn't been good since the second one anyway, so like, what are we even mad about at this point?
Fair. Wow.
Yeah, that was the one where like John got turned into a Terminator, which I think people were very unhappy about.
Yeah, I think I saw that, I think, because I heard how bad it was.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, so that's my number 5. And I'll do my number 4, I guess, and then do you want to do your number 4 first, or?
You can go. You
All
can go.
right. My number 4 is one that I hate, but is also fucking stupid. It's Legends of Tomorrow. Actually made it onto the list. One of the CW DC shows. And the reason that I hate it though is because the writers of this show just completely began to ignore the original premise. So like the original premise of the show, right, is that time traveler shows up, grabs a bunch of superheroes and is like, I need your help, and to like make sure that this horrible thing doesn't happen because this bad guy is manipulating time. And so they go and so their whole job, this team that is established, and it's very, very clear in the first like 1 or 2 seasons, even like first 3 seasons, they're pretty good about it actually. But their mission statement is basically like, if anyone travels back in time to try to change shit, like to make the Nazis win World War II, or to like, I don't know, stop the invention of electricity or any other like insanely catastrophic alteration to the time stream, their job is to make sure that that doesn't, that they go back in time and stop that thing from happening. And their whole purpose is to protect the timeline at all costs.
That's
which they do in the first couple seasons. But then after that, it gets to this really idiotic point where the showrunners were clearly getting, like, it got super woke, but not in like first of all, eventually all the actual because the team is made up of like actual DC Comics superheroes in the beginning, like it's Atom and Hawkgirl and like Rip Hunter and I don't know, Steel and a handful of other people, like Vixen's on there, like not like big names necessarily, but sure, it's people that have been on the Justice League in different iterations or whatever. Yeah. And it was mostly characters that had been set up or were main characters for specific seasons of Flash or Arrow or Supergirl or whatever. Like they weren't just like thrown in at the beginning of that show. It was like, because the Atom is introduced in Arrow at some point, and his character is fully established in that show. And then Legends of Tomorrow started when they needed to get him off of Arrow, but they didn't want to kill the character off or just have him, leave for no fucking reason or whatever the case might be. So they were like, all right, put him on this show. And so they did that with a bunch of different characters. Eventually, though, the show starts to like, as the show progressed and those actors, wanted to do other things or their character arcs concluded or whatever the case might be, they started replacing them with just original characters that were just random fucking people. Like they weren't even necessarily like superheroes. It was just like, the coffee girl from the Time Bureau or whatever is gonna be on the fucking ship now and a member of the team. And I'm like, why? The original team was comprised of people that are basically gods. Firestorm was on the team at the beginning, and it's like so like and then by the end of the show, you've got like just random people they picked up along the way are on this team that's got like the most important job ever, which is protecting the timeline. And so that was already kind of dumb, but it didn't necessarily automatically ruin the show. But I think what really ruined it was that when the like I was saying, the woke stuff wasn't necessarily the casting or like them making characters gay and stuff, like, which they did do, but that wasn't really the problem. The problem was that they would go back in time. Like there's one specific episode I can remember where they go back to like World War I, maybe World War II or something like that. And I can't remember what they were actually there to prevent. It was like Reverse Flash or somebody was fucking up time because, they like to do that.
Naturally.
And so they were trying to stop Thawne from doing that. And while they're there, though, they end up at, some factory with a bunch of women working in the factory because, all the men were at war. And the women were not being paid like well or something like that. It was so it's because it's like 75
cents the dollar.
Yeah, it's like 19. So yeah, you have to keep in mind it's like 1917 or whatever year it was, and these women aren't being paid like what they're promised, right? What they're promised, which is obviously bad. But your job is to make sure the timeline progresses the way the timeline has always been. They directly interfere with this one specific factory, because the leader of the team, like the two main leaders of the team by this point in the show are one of them is like one of the characters that's established early on in Arrow, Sarah, Black Canary's sister. But The one that died. You remember from like the beginning of Arrow, the sister that
I actually remember that name,
the sister that died, quote unquote, on the boat,
Oh,
but she didn't die.
She didn't die.
Yeah, she's the one. She's the leader of the team, and then her girlfriend gets introduced in Legends, and she is like the co-leader of the team at this point in the show.
Nice.
So they, being, you know, strong, independent lesbians or whatever the fuck, are like
by definition,
are like, we don't like that the women in this factory are being mistreated, so we're gonna help them to not be mistreated. And I'm like, you can't do that. I'm like, you can't accelerate women's suffrage or whatever by like 30 years. I whatever the timeline actually is. I'm like, you can't do that.
Have a women's president by 2012. That's just not right.
I'm like, no. Your job is to make sure that World War I goes exactly the way that World War I was meant to go.
I mean,
not to make women's wages increase, 70 years before that's even an issue that gets discussed, or whatever the case might be. And it's just like, so, and they started doing that a lot, where like, if they would go back in time and they would see something they didn't like, I swear to God, there's an episode where they like interfere with like early racism in the United States or something like that. Like there's something like that where they go back and they're like, they like literally interfere with
Django.
Interfere with slavery directly. And I'm like, look, I understand what y'all are trying to say in this show, but you can't do it in this show. It does, you're breaking the entire,
especially when they're preaching about the timeline. I mean.
I'm like, you're breaking the entire premise of the show. Like, and they've also, and it's also one of those things where it just creates continuity errors, where like they've established in the Arrowverse, which obviously the Arrowverse is rife with continuity errors, so I'm not necessarily expecting them to uphold continuity at this point, but it's just annoying because the Arrowverse has established repeatedly, especially in the Flash, that if you fuck with time, the time wraiths, like death itself, will come after you to like correct the imbalance you created in the time stream. Like Flash fucks with time a lot, right? Because that's what he does. And at one point, eventually he fucks with it too much. And the Black Flash, Death, the time wraiths, whatever, are like, we're gonna kill you because you keep fucking with time. And they establish
you do it once, no big deal.
Yeah, and they establish it in Legends as well, that the time wraiths still exist and like will hunt them down as well. And Black Flash is in that show. Like there's a whole thing in like season 2 of that show where Thawne is fucking with time, and Black Flash literally shows up and chases him the entire season and kills him at the end for changing the timeline. And then when the Legends do the exact same thing in like the last few seasons of the show, the time wraiths are nowhere to be found, and Black Flash is just like, I'm not worried about it. And I'm like, you are an existential, like, you're not even a you're not a person. You know what I mean? It's like the time wraiths aren't people. They don't have like consciousness or like.
Do they? I mean, would they not have agency? It seems like they wouldn't,
no,
but
they don't.
They somehow do.
They don't have subjective emotions
to enforce the laws, though.
No. They don't have subjective thought. They're not supposed to anyway. Like the way they're established, that's not the case. They don't have subjective like opinions on, oh, this change is fine, but this change is bad. It's like, if you fuck with the timeline and you get away with it, and like a team like the Legends doesn't show up to stop you, the time wraiths will just rip your soul out and fix the timeline themselves. Like you're not so, but then that just doesn't occur anymore after the show doesn't want it to occur anymore. And it's just like, whatever, man, fine. Like, go ahead and, free the slaves 100 years ahead of time. That definitely won't fuck up the timeline. Like,
impossible.
Like, yeah.
Crazy.
And that show got canceled before. It's like the only of all the Arrowverse shows. Like the Arrowverse, surprisingly, none of those shows got canceled. Like they all got ended.
Wow.
Right, when the CW was cycling down, it was kind of like they got like a year's advanced warning, basically, where it was kind of like when the CW was like, yeah, we're getting rid of serialized television, but we'll give all of you one more season. They didn't give it to Legends. And I was like, you deserve that. You deserve to end on a cliffhanger, and no one will ever know what happened to this team. And I'm not even upset about the fact that show didn't finish, because it was pissing me off so much.
But it still belongs here.
But yeah, it still belongs here.
Seems apropos, honestly. Wow.
But yeah, that's my 4.
Solid. Well, 4 for me, and I think I'm basing it again, not a lot of shows I hate. I think there's like 2 shows on my list of this 4 that more properly falls into hate. This is one of them, The Witcher. Definitely hate The Witcher. And, it's what we talked about earlier. It's like, one thing to look for when you're looking at the worst fucking shows in your memory is shows that let you down or something to that measure.
Sure.
And holy fuck, The Witcher, man. I only played The Witcher 3, mind you. And just like the lore is pretty cool. It was a fun game, blah, 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 blah. And I was excited about the show just as kind of like a casual fan. And season 1 was not perfect, but like pretty optimistic. And then it just went kind of downhill from there. And it's just a shame. Like the direction not long after season 1 was just like you could already tell that it was doomed to fail, which is sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
just like a waste of talent too.
Yeah.
Knowing that fucking that's the part that evolves it into hate for me is knowing that God, what's his name? Yeah, Henry Cavill. Knowing Henry Cavill was a Witcher fan, would do it for free, you know what I mean? But like, okay, he's doing it, he's getting paid, but like, he's going to be great. He's been great in the role. He's going to be faithful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You've got a gold mine on your fucking hands. You got him at, I would compare it to like an NBA rookie discount, basically, instead of probably paying full price, even though he's probably, again, getting paid a lot, they're probably still getting, it seemed like they were still getting a deal in terms of producing that show, considering how much draw he adds.
Yeah, I mean, he probably took like the first offer.
Fan base.
Yeah.
Like, and they just like fucked it up and pissed off Cavill along the way and made him disenfranchised with it. It's like, oh, really fucking grinds my gears.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and not to mention the writing. I mean, it was just at like every category. The visuals kind of stood up, but that's, I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah, I remember when like, what was it, season 3 came out, and people were not happy about that shit. I didn't like, I don't know, I never played any, I mean, I still haven't played any of the Witcher games or anything like that, but I remember people just being kind of like, or just ripping apart season 3. And like, I didn't hate it, but
right.
I was like, I mean, it obviously is noticeably worse. And then obviously I did see all the stuff about, like when the writers were doing stuff and Henry would be like, you can't do that, that doesn't make sense, and then they'd be like, shut up, bitch. And it was like,
he was trying to course correct.
Yeah.
Why would you? Yeah. It costs what was going through my mind at the time? It costs nothing to just fucking listen to him.
Yeah.
It costs nothing to just listen to him and keep him on, even for the only dumb reason that you get to keep Henry Cavill. But they were like, no, I simultaneously don't give a fuck about pissing off Henry Cavill, and also simultaneously do not give a fuck about the source material and the name of the fucking show that we're making. So I want to create art or whatever the fuck those idiots are thinking.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like it's like one of the worst examples of, I think we talked about this before on the pod, but like the whole thing where when a screenwriter or director or whatever gets their hands on a book adaptation and they just like feel compelled to change it,
to deviate,
just
their own little
just
layer,
to just to prove like this like voice in their head that just appears and it's like, you can do it better, and it's like, no, you can't. Please stop. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, alter it. Fuck up 2 things.
Yeah.
Fuck up 2.
Yeah. It's just like, don't listen to that voice ever. If you're ever in the position, anyone listening, if you're ever in the position where you get to adapt a book or video game or whatever into a movie or TV show, the second you hear that voice in your head say, well, what if it was a little bit different? Tell that voice to fuck off, because it's wrong.
Fuck up.
Like, I was thinking about this yesterday, or after, I think after recording last episode, but I think so. I can't remember, but I think the only example I can think of readily off the top of my head where I think the movie is actually kind of better than the book is Hunger Games.
Oh my god!
Because Hunger Games,
like Hunger Games 1,
just the first one, because the first one,
dude,
because of all the extra shit they added in with Snow. And then people, I don't like, if you haven't read, if you haven't read Hunger Games recently, your memory has filled in all the gaps of what happened in that book, and you've added all the President Snow stuff in without realizing. I guarantee it. Like
I'm not adding it. I'm not adding that much value. It's cool. I don't disagree, and I also wish it was in the book. I think the level of detail and what they do in a narrative sense in the book feels a lot better despite not having the snow shit than the movie. And like that's not even getting to the acting, which is not perfect.
I think the only reason I also give it I guess not the only reason I give it a pass, but it's also just like the fact that the changes that were made to it, which this isn't necessarily an excuse because Rick is doing this with Percy Jackson and it's not going well. But like,
I was about to say, like he's not listening to himself.
But like, Suzanne's the one that added in all like the Snow stuff in the movie. Like it was her idea. So like when they were doing the movie, she was like, there was a lot of stuff about President Snow that she obviously is in her head because she wrote the story, but she didn't have it in the books, any of the books, because you don't ever cut away from Katniss in any of the books. So you never see anything that is not happening to her, which I think that's really my reason for it though. I think that there's like, I like the stuff that they added in. Yeah. I like the stuff they added in that has nothing to do with her or that like occurs outside of her that you don't see in the books. Like there's one specific example. This scene in particular doesn't like add anything necessarily for me that much, but like, it's an example of, you know, what happens throughout the entire movie versus the entire book. When they're watching the scores get revealed after Katniss, you know, shoots the apple in like when the judges are all there. But when they're watching the scores get revealed on TV the next day or later that night or whenever it was, in the book, that entire scene is Katniss spiraling in her head. Like it's her like internal monologuing about like how you know how she's like panicking and freaking out and how like she's, you know, I can't remember what all the things she's talking about, but that's what the scene is. And then in the show or in the movie, you know, you actually see what's happening on the TV, like the reveal, like everyone's scores and like the reactions of everyone else in the room. You don't get any of that in the book because it's Katniss is so laser focused on her own thoughts that she literally does not observe or hear anything happening in the room. So that entire scene happens completely differently in the book as opposed to the show or the movie because you're not in her head in the movie. And the movie is full of stuff like that. And I think a lot of the stuff that they added in where they like cut away to, especially, I mean, the Snow stuff is the biggest part, like cutting away to show what like Snow's, or like even like really iconic moments from the movies too. Like when they do the parade thing even, and Snow has his speech about, you know, like, you know, the victors having it like being a great honor or whatever that they get, not the victors, the what the fuck do they even call them? The tributes. The tributes having like it being a great honor for them to fight and everything. Like his speech, you know, and every single time Snow gives a speech in the movies, it's iconic as fuck. But like in the book, you don't hear that speech because during the parade, Katniss is just freaking out. Like any time you can think of throughout all of Hunger Games, the whole trilogy, where someone is given some like really great speech or like says something really like has like a really cold line or something like that. It's like, that's not in the book because Katniss just didn't hear it because she's freaking out the whole time, which it's like, it's not that it's bad in the book, but I like all the extra stuff that they added in.
Okay. So a matter of perspective. Yeah.
Especially where Snow's concerned. Like, like little scenes too. I agree with you on that. Like I think it's in the second movie when there's like the one scene where Snow's granddaughter is at his mansion or whatever, and
Yeah.
she's got her hair in like the braid, like Katniss's braid, and Snow notices it, and he says something like, "When did you start doing your hair like that?" And then she's like, "Every all the girls do it like this now." And obviously that scene's not in the book because, like I keep saying, you never leave Katniss, so you never randomly cut to Snow's living room with his granddaughter there in the book. But it's just stuff like that where you see like Snow's personality or like Snow's like hatred and whatnot coming through, where he's just like, just little moments like that. Because in the book, Snow's not really a character at all. He's an idea.
He's just kind of like a guy. He's just kind of like he's almost like the Voldemort in the sense of like, he's just kind of the invisible force.
Yeah. But like Voldemort in like the first 3 books before Voldemort really shows up for real. Like that's the kind of villain Snow is. Like he's the idea, like he's this evil thing in the background, or like the Emperor in the first 2 Star Wars movies. It's where he's not in them. It's like he's just he's back here doing evil shit, and you're supposed to be afraid of him, but you don't really know why. And then the movies are like, here's why. But yeah. I don't know how I got on the Hunger Games, but The Witcher. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Talking about book adaptations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will say though, on the good good news, I guess. I don't know. I think it's a TV show. I'm pretty sure it might be a movie, but I've like Henry Cavill's also like a big Warhammer 40K fan or whatever. Yeah, they're making that into a show or something, and he's going to be like the main guy in that. And I was like, I mean, maybe it'll work out this time.
I mean, fool me once, shame on me.
Maybe this time when Henry tells them how to do shit, they'll listen to him.
Well, I mean, again, in my mind, like sink or swim, I'd rather lose because I listened to Henry Cavill, the Warhammer super fan, and made the show more how he wanted to versus do my own fucking thing and don't even give a fuck about the source material.
Yeah.
So I had a close one there, but
yeah.
Makes sense.
All right, yeah, my number 3 is the Harley Quinn show. The first two seasons of that show are actually funny, and before any Harley Quinn defenders try to come for my throat, it's like I understand that show is 100% supposed to be hardcore satire. Like that is the point, and I understand that, but it's just after season 2, it's just too much. It's like imagine the most like top 5 most stupid jokes in a Deadpool movie, and then stretch that out over like 10 hours, and it's like that's what Harley Quinn is like. It's like it's just the worst parts of Deadpool. I mean, the only good Deadpool.
But there are people that like this.
Oh, people love the Harley Quinn show, bro.
Defenders?
Yeah. I mean, if you looked up the ratings, it's probably still like high 8s if I had to guess, like across the board, all the way through.
96 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. And it's like, as a satire, sure, whatever, it's funny, I get it. But like, it just got so obnoxious because they make a joke. It's like, it's not Deadpool, at least the first Deadpool kind of works, I think, because it's like, there's serious stuff. And then there's obviously stupid, there's like dumb, childish humor, but then there's serious stuff, and then there's like cool violence and everything like that. And the Harley Quinn show, literally everything is a joke, all of the time. So it's just kind of like, it just gets exhausting, honestly. After like the second season, and any serious stuff that they were doing, they always undercut it, and they always make it. It's just immediately like something might be serious for half a second, and then they're like, oh yeah, I don't like joke about, I don't know, like Lex being bald or something like that, and it's just like, yeah, we get it. You don't have to say it every single time you see him, Harley. Like it's not funny after the first time, and like they take characters like Bane. For whatever reason, it's a running joke in that show that Bane is just this big fucking crybaby bitch, and like he lets everybody push him around and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Avoiding
okay,
your expectations a
yeah,
bit.
I'm like,
That's a
sure,
big
whatever.
man.
It's an inversion of what Bane is, but like, you're not clever. Like, all you did was take what Bane is and make him the exact opposite. You're not creative.
Well said.
Like,
It's genius.
it's
They're
not.
taking
It's
inspiration.
so dumb. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Like, there are a few funny jokes, and there was one joke like early in season 1. I remember that's actually kind of funny. Like, Darkseid invades Earth, and the Justice League shows up, and they're like fighting him or whatever, and Wonder Woman like grabs a parademon with the lasso and asks it, like, tries to ask it a question. I can't remember what she asked it, and obviously it just screeches and like random alien sounds. And then she looks, after it screeches, she looks over at Superman as if he would understand it just because he's an alien. And then he makes a comment of like, he's like, really? You assume that I just speak parademon just because I'm not from Earth? And it's like, that's like, it's dumb, because obviously that interaction would never happen between those characters, but it's funny. I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it just gets so like, it's so heavy handed with like slapstick humor, and then like inappropriate sexual humor, and like,
yeah,
everybody in the show is just insanely horny all the time, and it's like y'all gotta relax. And it's not just Harley and Ivy, it's like everybody in the show super horny all the time, and I'm like, this isn't funny anymore. Like, it was funny when you did it like a handful of times in season 1, but it's like every 5 seconds. It's just, so yeah. And it's one of those shows. My top 3 for my hated list, all of them are shows that I did not finish. Like, I stopped in the middle, which I don't do that. For anyone that needs to know, like, I do not stop TV shows or movie series or whatever, even if I get to a point where I'm like, this is painful to watch. Like, I don't stop. Yeah, like, I won't stop until it's over. I think Riverdale. Yeah, I think Riverdale I technically didn't finish, but it was only like by an episode or 2. Like, it might have literally just been the finale I didn't watch, because when it came out and they revealed like a whole bunch of like all the crazy shit that got revealed in that finale, that was absolutely absurd. I was like, I don't need to watch that. I'm good. I was like, I read the synopsis, or I read the summary of the episode. I watched the whole show.
Dude, I saw some clips, man. Oh, dude, it was crazy.
Dude, that show was so fucking dumb. But see, at least Riverdale like knew that they were stupid at the end. Yeah, exactly. Riverdale, when it got towards the later seasons, they were like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, we know this is dumb, but we're just gonna do it anyway, and people are gonna eat that shit up. And they were right. But they knew that they were creating garbage, essentially, but it was fun garbage. So it was like, all right, it works. It's it's the guilty pleasure bad. It's not like this is just fucking stupid. Yeah. It's not like She-Hulk bad, where it's like where they tried to defend She-Hulk being terrible. Like, the writers of that show were like, "Oh, well, we made it bad on purpose," and I'm like, "That's not a good argument."
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, that's
timeline.
Yeah, you can't.
Timeline.
That's not an out. That's not the out you think it is.
Got with their hand in the cookie jar and no one. Yeah. Speech is one.
Yeah, it's like
be the meme.
Yeah, that's literally. That's not 100. Yeah, and but yeah, so my top 3 are all DNFs. And Harley Quinn, after season 2 ended, and then they released like a Valentine's Day special or something like that same year, because that season 2 I think came out. Season 2 came out like really fast. It was weird. It was almost like they filmed 2 seasons right away. And then season 1 came out and it did really well. And then I think that came out in like December of whatever year it was. And then literally like January of the next year, meaning like 1 month later, they released season 2. And I was like, that's really weird, but okay.
I had it ready for sure.
And then and I don't think it was that close to, actually I think it was probably like October to January, but whatever, it was super close together. It was abnormal. And then that February they released like a Valentine's Day special or something. And after I watched the Valentine's Day special, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I was like,
after you watched, gotta see the Valentine just in case.
I was like, well, because season 2 I still kind of liked it and it hadn't fully annoyed me yet. And then I watched the Valentine's Day. I might have watched like the first episode of season 3 when it came out, and then after that I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't care anymore. There's no point. There's no, because it's one of those things too where it's like it's like keeping up with like Family Guy or something like that. It's just fun, like, but it's
Losing
not.
battle.
Family Guy is at least funny in like the first like 8 seasons of Family Guy, but like
Right.
you don't need to start at any, like you could, like if you want to watch a couple episodes of Family Guy, which, you know, sometimes I'll have it playing in the background, you just throw it on and pick a season at random and you'll be good to go. Like it doesn't matter. And that's what Harley's, like the Harley show is like that, where it's like there's no reason to keep up with it. There's no narrative stakes in the show. There's nothing that matters character development wise at all. It's just fucking stupid. It's just dumb. So it's like, so yeah. So at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not gonna keep watching this. But yeah,
Solid.
it's my 3.
Well, yeah, we're both going to be similar, I think, in terms of different opinion than the masses, because we're going with The Office for number 3.
That's, people are gonna come with pitchforks. That's crazy.
And everyone's already clicked off the video, but I've seen The Office multiple times. I've seen it like 5, 6. It probably at least, okay, maybe 5 is pushing it, but I've seen it at least 4 times. I would say in the aggregate, I've probably seen like, 4.65. I don't know. I've seen it. I've seen it enough. Here's the good. I like it. It's funny. There's a lot more episodes that are not funny that people think are funny. That's definitely going to be one of my opinions. And to say I hate it, again, I'm stretching the definition of hate. I don't hate the show. If it's on, I'm not going to be rude and turn the TV off. But like, my dopamine takes a little negative hit when I walk into, and they throw that on. I'm like, oh, great. Because number one, for the reasons I just mentioned, unlike a show like, okay, at least the first 10 or so seasons of Family Guy or whatever, where it was funny, and some of the new stuff I'm sure is funny, but I just haven't seen it, where you pick a random episode and you don't have to worry. You throw it on. You don't have to pick an episode, right?
Right.
You got to pick an episode of The Office.
Sure.
Because if you throw it on, you're going to find that some of the episodes are not that fucking funny. And I know that the community has some agreement, I think, on a couple of bad or very bad episodes. Like the fucking Scott's Tots episode. People always talk about that. Even though it's kind of funny, I actually think it's probably better than what people think. But even regardless of that, my main thing is that there's just more unfunny episodes, or really, again, in the aggregate of the entire show, which is great, again, but not as funny as people think it is, unfortunately. And that's because they remember the highs. I don't really blame them. The show has some great highs. It ends fine. I don't really have any issues there or anything, but do I hate it? Not really, but like in terms of how much I dislike shows, like I don't want that in the background. And I'm not going to say anything worse than that. But like, if your part of your personality is you like, if one of the first 3 things that you say about yourself is that you like The Office, you probably have mental illness. It's not, but like anything, it's just not a fucking personality trait. So that whole side of it really annoys me as well. I know it's with other shows too. Don't get me wrong. But The Office is definitely the most prevalent, at least in my view, of that specifically. So yeah. I still like it. Also watch some episodes. There's some moments that I will rewatch, sure. But speaking of shows I rewatch, again, it's just not high up on my list. So like, oh, let's throw on an episode of The Office.
Yeah.
Let's not.
I've never watched a single episode of The Office.
I would say you're missing out.
Probably. Despite
what I've said, but like, it's a lot of show to take in, and you're because you're starting from scratch, you're going to realize the same thing I literally just said. You'll probably still think the show's great, but like again, you're going to be like, wow, this is like people's #1 comedy show of all time. This is the GOAT. Bro, live a little.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if any more sitcoms are in my future at this point. Like I've watched like three or four great ones, I think, like for me.
Actually, they don't really make them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You just watch the good ones and you get through The Office, Seinfeld, Friends, whatever else is necessary. Parks and Rec is good if you want to watch some of those, sure, but like, I like Parks and Rec significantly more than The Office.
I think I've seen all of Parks and Rec.
Well, The Office is like that, but worse. There you go. Its execution's a little worse, but it has higher highs, maybe.
The Office doesn't have Aubrey Plaza, so I mean, it automatically loses points there.
I mean, you're not wrong. I would say
you can't compare anybody on The Office to Aubrey Plaza. I mean, like, there's absolutely no way. But
I mean, yeah.
But yeah. Solid though.
Folks.
People are gonna try to find out where you live and kill you for saying that The Office
just not a personality trait, And there's really no show that should be, and it's probably gonna come up again in my list. Spoiler, but like, come on, guys.
Just like where it's all you talk about.
It's not.
Yeah.
That is obvious. I think. What I will say that's maybe less so obvious is again like, it's a bit for like it is so often like something that people will say it's part of their personality or like just like can't think of anything better.
Yeah.
And that's the part that like for this show to fit into that, again, I get it. It's a cult show. People are like that with Friends. People are like that with other shows, I guess. But and Friends could make an honorable mention on this list, and I really like Friends, so I really couldn't put it on the list. Friends is significantly better than The Office. They're both great shows, but at least in my view, a lot better. And I think Seinfeld is significantly better than Friends. So I mean, my scale is a little weird, but anyways.
Yep. What was that? That was your 3, right?
That was 3 was The Office.
All right, cool. My 2 is The Walking Dead.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a 5.
thought you pissed off people with The Office. Check this out. The Walking Dead sucks.
Well, because it gets good, it gets better. I guess that's why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also think that people that are like, or were fans of The Walking Dead, like really fans of The Walking Dead, I don't think those people ever really stopped. Like, but yeah, there are people that even when it got bad in the middle that stuck with it, and then they were like, oh, but like, season fucking 9 through 15 are good or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not watching 15 seasons of The Walking Dead. Like, you can't make me do it. But
it's also, I don't think that's true, but
yeah. And I'm just like, I remember so vividly when I stopped watching The Walking Dead. Cause okay.
When was it for you?
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, I want to preface this by saying I don't like, and I've talked to you about this before. I don't like zombies as a concept to begin with.
This does hurt your credibility a little bit.
Well, I mean, not really, because like I just think zombies.
It does a tiny bit because you hated this show before it was cool.
That's true. I did hate this show before it was cool to hate it. Yeah.
But at that point you were wrong. Now your opinion has aged better.
I think that's my thing though. Is it's like I refused to watch it at first because I was like I don't like zombie stuff because I think zombies are a lazy plot device, and it's almost never done well. Like I Am Legend. That's like top only good use of zombies ever. Like, actually, I Am Legend. Like, I Am Legend and The Last of Us are like the only 2 uses of zombies where the zombies. World War Z is fucking cool. Actually, yeah, okay. World War Z is very similar to I Am Legend, so I'll give you that one. Those are the only 3 though. I'm not giving you any more. But those are the only 3 zombies stories where the zombies are actually used in like a creative way, or the zombies are just fucking awesome. And where the zombies are not like the I don't know, like the because the typical, like, the Walking Dead use of zombies is just stupid, where it's just like, oh, they're like, what I think the main thing that makes me mad about it is how they always stick to the whole, like, nothing can ever fix this element of it. And I'm like, sure, whatever. It's supposed to be.
That's not necessarily true.
It's supposed to be well, I'm not saying they don't ever do it, but like The Walking Dead definitely does it, because they spend like 4 seasons building up to like, oh, we're gonna find a cure, and then they get to Atlanta, right, and then they go to the CDC, and it's like, oh yeah, there's no cure. And it's just like, okay, so the whole show up to this point was fucking pointless. Is that what you're trying to tell me? But also, just like the.
But that's not what they build the show as.
No, but I know I'm just saying though, like, that was a major plot line that they were building towards for a significant portion of the show, and then they were like, just kidding. And it's like, okay. And it didn't surprise me at all. Because I was just like,
didn't surprise you?
No, because I was like, of course you took it away. Because why? Because if the cure exists, then you have a solution to the problem, which obviously you can't do if you're going to continue the show. But my issue with like not just The Walking Dead, but like zombies in general, is just that it's just whenever they're just running from the zombies, or it's like they find a place to stay, and then it's always characters behaving in insanely stupid ways that make them get caught by the zombies, right? It's like, okay, if we all live here and we don't make any, like, we don't shoot off fireworks or anything, we'll be fine. And then 5 minutes later, someone shoots off a firework, and the zombies are like, what the fuck? What's that? And they go get them. And it's just like, that's what zombie stories are. They're so rife with people just being objectively dumber than they would be in that situation in real life, that I'm like, it just makes me angry. But that's not the point.
Well, that makes sense. They're in a stressful situation.
No. And I refuse the logic. It just is dumb. Like, if your survival depends on it, you're not going to consistently make idiotic mistakes. Or like the whole thing that
it's definitely possible.
The whole thing they always do in zombie stories, where it's like, if you get bitten, you're supposed to tell people so that they can kill you before you turn. And then there's always some fucking retard that's just
that's actual, like, realistic.
I understand. Yes, no, I'm saying in real life though. In real life. Well, no, I'm not talking about the person who doesn't tell people. I'm talking about the person who will like find out someone's bitten, and then they won't just instantly kill them. And they'll be like, oh, maybe we can like chop your arm off or find some other way, or I just want a few more hours with this person or whatever. I'm like, dog. And maybe I'm just like, maybe I don't have emotions, but like,
happen in real life
but
too.
But like, if we were in a zombie apocalypse situation and you got bitten and I saw that shit, I would not hesitate to kill you, bro. Like, I'm like, look, you have to understand.
If it was like my arm, if it was my hand, are you killing me? I don't think so, man.
Yeah. No, I would do it. If we knew the rules, if it's like early on and we don't know, right? Maybe.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we're like 9 seasons into The Walking Dead and everybody knows exactly how that shit works, and they still do shit like this, where they'll be like, oh, someone got bitten, but I'm not ready to kill them yet. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you're ready for. Like, shoot them before it becomes a problem later. It's a huge thing in zombie storylines.
I thought cutting off the limb, I guess it's not always applicable, did work in The Walking Dead.
At one point, I think...
It depends on the speed, I guess, of when you do it. I feel like I've seen it work multiple times.
I think at one point it worked or something like that. I can't remember. I feel like they like...
Was it Daryl? Pretty sure it was Daryl.
What, that he lost something?
Yeah, I think he cut off something.
Maybe, I think that they tried to do it. I think I remember early on, whatever the old man's name was, someone's grandfather or some shit like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The guy who owned the farm.
I think he got bitten on like his leg or something, and they cut it off, but he turned anyway.
Really?
And that was when they revealed that didn't work. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't matter. I'm getting bogged down in like why I don't like zombies. That's not the point. The point is why I don't like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, the zombies are lame. They're slow zombies. They're not interesting. They're like super typical run-of-the-mill zombies, and it's like, okay, fine, whatever. And then also it's also one of those things where it just gets boring. It's like when the whole show is just like run from zombies, think you're safe for like 5 minutes, continue running from zombies, think you're safe for like 5 minutes.
You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
What's the most popular? What's the most popular response to some of the stuff? It's not a show about the zombies, Michael. It's a show about the people. Obviously, the zombies are basically just like
yes.
setting.
And I'm about to get to that. So the parts of The Walking Dead that I enjoyed were when they weren't doing that, because The Walking Dead does the same thing that
They do a lot of that.
They do a lot of but they do it in a very like cyclical pattern. It'll be like
Correct.
one arc is like they run into some evil humans and they're fighting evil humans. That stuff is interesting.
Right.
And then, or not evil, but like, you know, other humans that disagree with them or whatever. I mean, sometimes they were evil, but you know what I mean. It's all subjective in their world mostly. But then it would switch back to like, oh, we just have to escape zombies. And then it got like, so it would be like something really interesting. And then it'd be boring zombie shit again. And I'm just like, oh my God, please get away from this. And then
like boring zombie shit for like very long.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't.
Every season
I know
basically had an antagonist.
Yeah. But still, when it took a break to do boring zombie stuff, it was like killing me inside every time. I'm like, I don't care about the zombie. Like, just it, especially because it's like you only ever used it.
You didn't like when Daryl was out just hunting zombies?
No,
and walking
it's
around
like why? Who cares? Irrelevant. Like,
it's cool.
It's not cool. It's dumb. It's pointless. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I don't care. Just cut away from him and then have him show up a few episodes later and then have him tell me. I would rather have him tell than that's how much I hate zombies, Chase. I would rather have Daryl show. I'd rather have him go missing in like episode 1 and then show up in episode 10 and be like, oh yeah, I've been hunting zombies all season. I would rather have that than watch him hunt zombies.
Narration at the end of the show.
Yeah, I would rather have it open with Daryl internal monologuing about how he's hunting zombies and then not show me the zombies.
I think that they have also done that in the show, by the way. It's kind of funny. I don't remember.
So dumb. But anyway, the reason I hated The Walking Dead was, well, it was just kind of losing me. Like after they did the juke out, the fake out with the cure, I was like, that really pissed me off. And then after that, it just, you know, it went back to the typical like run from zombies, fight bad humans, run from zombies, and I was just like, I so don't care. Now, the only thing that kept me in it at that point was the character dynamics between certain characters. Not all of them. A lot of them were annoying and I didn't care about them. But like, obviously the one that, and you're going to know when I stop watching the show when I say this, but the only character dynamic I really gave a shit about when around the time when I stopped watching was Glenn and Maggie. So, and I knew in the
Glenn and Maggie, huh? You like the Glenn and Maggie dynamic?
I knew
that was good dynamic.
I knew because I had like heard about it just from people talking about like what happens in the comics and stuff, that in the comics Glenn dies when Negan shows up and kills him. And I remember, and it was like right before that season, whatever, like season 7, whatever that was about to come out. And they had announced that Negan was going to show up, and I was like, look, they've already changed a lot of stuff. Just from, you know, I never read the Walking Dead comics because I would fucking never do that.
They started to change some stuff.
But they had already changed a lot of stuff from the comics to the show at that point anyway. So I was like, okay, maybe they won't do it. But if they do it, I'm out. Like, the second it happens, I'm done. I'm watching the first episode of season 7 or whatever it was. Yeah, it was like the meme. Literally, yeah. Literally, like, just vanished. Yeah. And I'm watching the first episode of season 7 or whatever season it was. The second that bat hit his head, I turned it off. Like I'm not exaggerating at all. The second he made contact with his head, I immediately just like paused it and turned it off and went and you know, started doing something else. And I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I don't care anymore, because Glenn was literally the only, and really it was more Glenn than Maggie, like at that point anyway. Like Glenn as a character himself.
We have a lot more time with Glenn.
So
I mean, since like what, literally the first episode.
Right. Yeah. I think so. And so I was like, if Glenn dies, I'm done. I'm out, because he's the only reason I'm still watching this show. Like anytime he's not on screen, I just want to kill myself. And when he is on screen, I'm like, this is barely good enough to keep me here. So the second he died, I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's why I hate The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead, that might be my 5, now that I think about it. But yeah, I heard it got better. I think it ended worse, though.
Yeah.
Or if did it end?
I think the original show ended, but then they made 19 spinoffs, so it's never going to end.
Right, yeah, I'm forgetting the spinoffs. I think they finally ended the show. I don't think people were very happy with how it ended. I don't remember, though. Obviously, I heard it had some higher points after Glenn died. That was like, I at least watched the rest of that episode. So I made it a little farther than you did, but I watched the next season. I watched the first few episodes of the next season. Stopped out of I can't believe this shit is real. I'm out as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. And like the new season was, it's one thing to do that. If the show somehow kept like crazy high quality nuts to butts action, whatever, like something gripping at least to replace whatever it was just boring shit for like 6-7 hours of that season, and you're just like, bro, what am I doing? Why am I here? Nothing's happening. I realized shit was happening, but nothing was happening compared to what was happening before. You're like, who are these fucking like, I like these characters, but you're almost making me hate characters by shifting focus. Which is what they did after that. But anyways, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, especially because like some of the spin-offs also, and obviously like you can't necessarily, I mean you can because it's the same continuity, but like the Negan spin-off or whatever that's going on right now, or that's about to come, I can't remember if it's already out. But like even just the way that they evolve the character dynamics, some of that shit, obviously I never watched after Glenn died, but I know certain things that have happened just from people talking about it or whatever. But like the whole thing where like Negan and Maggie,
people got high on Negan.
Yeah, but like the whole thing where like Negan and Maggie are like friends now or something,
right?
And I'm like, that there's no, because I realize a TV show, because of how it's delivered to the audience, you tend to forget shit, or like the emotional response you had to certain things, you forget how you felt
moment to moment
when it's been 7 years since something happened or whatever. There's no possible way, given how
over in 7 years,
the way that Negan killed him, there's no way you could ever convince me in any narrative structure that she gets to a point where she's like on his side, and even if they're not like friends, but like they reluctantly work together or whatever, there's no way. I like even that, I'm like, that's bullshit. Like the second
that's a lot.
The second she had an opportunity to kill him, she would take it. And I know that she's had multiple opportunities to do so, and she never does it. And I'm like, okay, so he's either got more plot armor than anyone who's ever been fighting a stormtrooper in all of Star Wars, or the writing just is terrible and makes no sense. And it's probably both, honestly.
Yeah, it's column A and column B there for sure.
Like, yeah, and I'm sure there's other stuff, but that one really just pisses me off more than anything. Like the fact that, and I'm pretty sure that does happen inside The Walking Dead before the spinoff, like where I know that Negan becomes part of like the group or whatever, or they become part of Negan's group or something. I know that happens in Walking Dead, and I'm pretty sure like Maggie at least becomes amicable with him. And I'm just like, that's fucking crazy, bro. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, no, I hate The Walking Dead.
You had to do what he had to do, Michael. It's just business.
Literally,
it's just business. He was
pointless murder. Actually pointless.
Pointless, graphic, like inflicting the most pain on a person.
Yeah, and pointless, insanely brutal, cruel to everyone who was there, because he did a public execution for no reason.
Scarring, I mean,
like
psychologically,
every aspect of that situation was like as evil as he could have possibly made it.
Correct.
And then and then one season later, they're like, "Oh yeah, Negan's our boy," and I'm just like, "Sure, whatever."
Maggie would want. I mean, Glenn would want Maggie to forgive, I think.
No, he wouldn't.
Don't you think?
No. It's like watching. It's like watching The 100, and like every time. Oh my god. There's no way I'm like. It doesn't matter. Every time they were like, "Oh yeah, try to do better," or whatever. Like, we shouldn't kill our enemies, and Clark's like, "That's hilarious." Pow. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This like the world. Like, what world do you live in? You don't get to like make up with people in The Walking Dead. It's not how it works.
Well, not people that have done that.
Yeah, not that. Yeah,
That's for damn sure.
That's for damn sure. Yeah, someone steals your food and then you catch them later, and then they're like, "Oh, my kid was starving." It's like, you could forgive that person maybe, but like,
yeah, there's levels, but
bludgeoning your
Not
husband
that
to
fucking
death
level, bro.
with a baseball bat with nails on it and like making his head explode and laughing about it, like
Yeah.
that's some Joker shit, okay? Like you're like that's
Yeah.
evil, bro.
That's on your resume for life, bro. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah. I just know if I continued watching that show, they would give like Negan backstory about like why he became so fucked up, and I would just be like, I don't fucking care. Like it doesn't matter what happened to him in his past. You can't justify that by being like, oh, his dad used to beat him or something. Like no one gives a shit if your dad beat you. You can't beat people's brains out with a baseball bat. Like those aren't the same. I'm done talking about it, though. Walking Dead's terrible. Fuck that show.
Argument for Walking Dead, maybe the only one for the rest of this show, that's for sure. Amputating a limb it works.
Oh, you can?
It's worked
Okay.
apparently in season 3, in season like 6, in season 9, apparently. But like obviously
Fine.
you can't, it can't spread, whatever. You gotta be quick.
Yeah.
But that's about it, folks. That's about it. Okay.
It's also not how viral infections work anyway.
I don't know. I'm not gonna claim to know how. I guess I should ask.
I did a bunch of research on this a couple weeks ago because I was watching it wasn't Walking Dead, obviously, but I was watching a movie.
That's what it says, actually.
I was watching a movie or something, and someone got poisoned by someone got bitten by a snake or some shit like that. And in my head, I was like, I for whatever reason,
it doesn't reach the bloodstream. That makes sense.
That doesn't. It does. Like, okay, logically, yes. Like when you're watching the show, it's like, oh, if I get bitten on my hand by something that has venom in it, then if I cut off my hand immediately, then it won't get to the rest of me, right? Like logically, it makes sense. But I looked it up. There is no. Obviously, in fiction, you can make up any rules you want, obviously. So setting that aside, but like, if you're gonna,
we're talking about fucking zombies.
But if you're gonna attach the zombie outbreak to being a viral infection, then you've given it a real world basis. In which case, I can argue against it.
Super infection at that point.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it's.
But my point is going to make my point is going to make that not matter because the way that I looked this up and the way that like any sort of like venom or like virus, like any sort of like something that gets injected into your bloodstream and like travels throughout your body that way,
right?
Your entire nervous system, your veins, bloodstream, whatever, all that stuff is like circulatory system is an extremely optimized traversal system, like to an insane, like to
deliver it everywhere
to an incomprehensible degree. Like it wouldn't even make sense in your brain if you try to rationalize how fast it happens. So like the second, if you get bitten on your hand by like a venomous snake, for example, the second it gets inside you, like before your brain, even if you immediately think I need to cut my hand off to prevent that from spreading, before the thought gets to your fully formed in your brain, it's already everywhere else in your body. Like that's how fast your body moves shit throughout your entire system. Like it's faster than your thought of like I need to cut my hand off. Like before, like even if you have,
really that fast?
It's that fast.
Crazy.
Like if you so the whole idea that you see in movies and stuff all the time of like, oh, if you get bitten, cut your arm off or cut your leg off, complete bullshit in real life. If you do that, you're gonna like make it even worse because now you've given yourself severe trauma by cutting off your hand or your leg or whatever, which is going to kill you faster than the venom would have anyway.
But what you constrict the blood flow though? I
mean, you can slow it down like within a specific region, but like it's already all the way. It's already in every part of you instantly. Like
I didn't realize it was that fast.
Yeah. Which is why the solution is to get an antidote, not cut off a limb.
Like, well, then you can't have a show. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, that's so even then, you know,
like it's basically not the concept in any.
No, yeah, in every fictional like version,
I don't know,
in every movie or TV show ever, that's not like obviously they ignore that because it's dramatic to have like the whole if I cut off my hand I'll survive but I won't have a hand. Like that's more dramatic than just being like that's not how viruses or venom or whatever works and it's just instantly everywhere. But yeah, there's nothing on Earth
Crazy.
that travels slowly enough for you to have time to like remove a limb to prevent that from spreading.
Damn, what a shame.
Because and the issue is because your body doesn't know the difference between like something it's supposed to move through it, like in that instance.
I feel like it would know the difference.
No, like in that initial instance, like if you're like
enough to fucking rocket it to every part of your fucking body,
but it's 1 second. Like your body has to like identify like your cells and stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like so, the second it gets in your bloodstream isn't thinking, oh, something that's not supposed to be here is inside me, so I'm not gonna move it. Like your bloodstream can't just stop. You know what I mean? It can't just stop moving stuff.
Well, yeah,
it can't. It can't stop.
You clot, you can't immediately clot.
It can't just stop moving stuff. You're like when your body attacks stuff, it's not like freezing it in place and then attacking it. It's just attacking it wherever it is. So like your body will try to defend once it realizes once it starts dying or decaying or whatever. But the second it gets inside you, your bloodstream just takes it everywhere in your body. So it's too late for it to not be everywhere.
Huh.
So yeah, fun facts of the day. If you get bitten by a snake or some shit, don't cut your hand off. You'll die faster.
I mean, so online, you're correct in the sense that cutting your leg off or some shit like that, almost certainly a bad fucking idea. And just because of the simple fact that you're cutting your leg off, of course you get infection that way in general. However, if it's life-threatening, then and the amputation, you're not dying of blood loss basically, then it could work. It could work, but it's probably not worth the risk in almost every situation. Like the one I was trying to invent is like my finger or something, like a snake bites my finger. Like maybe if I cut off the hand or maybe I might be fine. Like I wouldn't die of blood loss simultaneously.
I mean, yeah, there's we could we could assign it an arbitrary percentage, but it's like a 0.0001% chance that it would work. And if it doesn't, you're fucked either way, because now you've just made it worse.
Yeah, if in the most charitable situations, unless you had a doctor on standby, I don't know. It's you're opening up to a lot of problems.
Maybe if you had a lightsaber and could instantly cauterize your own wound.
Lightsaber would probably do it. It'd definitely be fast enough.
But that's the thing is you wouldn't be fast enough 99.999 to the nth degree percent of the time. Like
you wouldn't really know. Yeah,
it would have to be immediate. Like your response would have to be so fast. Like it'd have to be inhumanly fast. Essentially, you'd have to be so fucking ready and no hesitation and just bam, instantly cut off whatever piece of you got bitten or infected or whatever to prevent it from spreading. And even then, almost 0% chance.
Because some things spread differently, right? Like I wonder what the Walking Dead want, like how quickly.
But it's not the nature of the thing itself, though. It's your bloodstream. Your bloodstream spreads everything the same speed. That's when people think about it, they think about it like what you just said. It's like, oh, well, this virus is different than this venom, so it moves differently. It's like that's not how it works. Your body is the thing that's doing the moving, and it moves everything the same speed, which is stupid fast.
Okay. Logical.
Obviously, if you're writing a story, you can invent whatever, bullshit rule you want on top of it. You could be like, oh, well, my zombie virus does move slowly for whatever fucking reason. And it's like, okay, fine. But which I'm not saying I have a problem with that in fiction, right? It's just like, once you know that, and then you see it happen in a movie, it's hard not to be like, it's fucking stupid. It doesn't work that way. But it's like anything.
Most people, I think that might file under the category of wrong, but most people probably don't care.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily say I care. It's just, nitpicking details at this point where I'm just like, I hate The Walking Dead. And also it is dumb because that also doesn't make sense. I mean, it's kind of like, if you watch like any interview that like Neil deGrasse Tyson has ever done about like any even remotely sci-fi related movie, that man, it must be terrible in his head when he's watching movies, because he's like, I feel like he's never had fun. He's never had fun watching a sci-fi movie because every single time he watches any sci-fi movie, his reaction is always just like none of this makes any fucking sense. And I'm like, you don't have to it doesn't have to make sense, bro. Like he was talking about the Transformers one time, and he was like, that whole movie's dumb. And I was like, he was like Transformers.
Transformers to Neil deGrasse
Bro,
Tyson,
he was like the only part of that movie that's good is the idea that we reverse engineered all of our modern technology from a crashed alien body, like Megatron's body. He was like, that's the only part of that movie that's good, but like the Transformers fighting each other and all that shit, dumb. And I was like, you don't have to it doesn't have to make sense to not be dumb. Like, it's like giant robots fighting each other is cool as fuck. Like, you can't, what are you talking about? Like people who don't like Godzilla, it's just like, dude, it doesn't have to make sense.
I've seen some of his reactions. I feel like I saw his to Arrival, and it was like similar, and I was just like, I was getting pissed off watching it. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're on thin ice, buddy. Not just because of that, just because like sometimes you say some cringe shit. It's not that bad. A lot of the times you say funny, good shit. Overwhelming. Not overwhelming. Pretty positive overall. But like you're on notice, buddy, because that plus some of the shit you say sometimes.
Yeah. Every time I see any clip of him pop up, I'm like, either he's gonna say something really interesting about science, or he's about to like rip on like a franchise for no reason.
Yeah. I don't know. Stop doing shit that's out of your league and stop. Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's all I need to say.
It's like, go give a speech about physics. Like, why are you talking about Transformers? It's not your arena.
He does that. He's good at it. He's got too much free time, evidently. Just make a fucking show. I don't know why they don't do a show with him called fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson,
the science guy,
or whatever.
Neil deGrasse, the science ass.
Yeah, that would fit totally, and
it definitely rhymes.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Yeah, we were at your number 2, right?
Well, quick and easy. This one, it's Westworld. And I don't even really have to explain myself because I've explained it multiple times. Similar to Witcher, starts out good, interesting. There's kind of a nice upward trend, and you think HBO, the quality, you're just like, wow, you could tell it's destined for greatness. You could, and I think most people thought that as well. And then just crash and fucking burn. So sad. I actually managed to force myself to stop watching. It was kind of difficult because I wanted to see how it flamed out, but thankfully I stopped watching. But after, I still got like I think at least 3 seasons in.
Yeah, I think that's what you said last time when you talked about it.
And then the start of season 4 was so bad, and or just the directions it took. The end of season 3 was bad. I think I remember. I think season 3, obviously, the quality was already dipping. But anyways, I'm not going to rehash it. That's my number 2. Fuck Westworld, man. Could have been so good.
Before I say my number 1, which is, you know what I'm going to say. The world is, but there might be another DNF to add to the list in a few months or in a month. I don't know if you've seen it, but so like the Lantern show's coming out in August. And a few days ago, or I can't remember how, pretty recently. Now it's still technically a rumor, but it seems very likely that it's true just based on the behavior of different social media platforms and stuff like that since the supposed leak dropped. But the leak is for the Lantern show that that first of all, it's going to jump back and forth between like past and present, so it's going to take place in 2016 and in 2026.
Okay.
And the important part of the leak is that Hal Jordan is going to die at the end of episode 1.
Oh, nice. Just throw him in and kill him immediately.
And I literally, when I saw that, I was like, if it's true and Hal dies at the end of episode 1, there is a very, very high probability that I don't finish that show until like it finishes and the internet or like people I know convince me that it's worth watching it despite how getting murdered
That's usually
immediately.
my method for
Like
a lot of shows.
that like if he dies in episode 1, there's almost a 100% chance that I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm not doing this until I'm have a reason to.
Fair.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
could be good, could be bad. You know, there's
we'll see.
It's a bold choice. It's a bold choice.
Yeah, and the reason people think it's true is because instead of like DC Studios or whatever, just kind of ignoring, people spreading fake news or whatever on the internet, people that have been talking about it or posting about it on like Instagram or YouTube and shit like that, they've been like issuing copyright strikes for talking about it. So people are like, why would you issue a copyright strike for something that's not in your show? So
people let people talk.
Right.
It's harmless.
So it makes it so everyone's like, okay, so it's basically 100% confirmed, because why the fuck would they care if it weren't true?
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so it could be another HBO fumble coming up in a month or so.
I mean, DNF in terms of you watch the first episode and you don't watch the second, like that.
Yeah.
Why would you even pretend you passed that?
Yeah. No, I'm saying like the only reason I would is like if the show finishes and then like everyone's like, okay, yes, Hal dying pissed everybody off, but it ended up being peak anyway, I'd be like, fine, whatever. But like,
right.
But
could happen.
But it seems unlikely to me. Yeah, it's just like why would you even? It's like I saw someone comment. Yeah, I saw someone comment this, so they were like the viewership drop off from episode 1 to episode 2 is gonna be fucking hilarious, and I was like, you're not wrong. Like if they actually do it, I like arbitrary numbers, but if it's like 1 million people watching episode 1. It might be like 12 watching episode 2 if they kill him off in the first episode. Like,
a couple thousand,
bro,
maybe.
People are gonna be fucking mad, bro. But anyway, my number 1 most hated show of all time.
What could it be?
Is Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Hate that shit so much.
Just wow. Yeah.
I'm not gonna dive back into the whole. I've already done this whole thing in our anime episode. But yeah, season 3 is really peak. I love season 3, and I liked the beginning of season 4, and everything else I fucking hate with a passion.
With a passion.
I hate it all. Didn't finish that either.
Yeah. Tragedy, absolute tragedy. But we have opinions on these shows, folks. It's not necessarily the proper ones.
I mean, except for the fact that in our channel description it says everything we say is true.
True. Yeah. Well, you gotta take the good with the bad.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Just it's shitty zombies and yeah, Attack on Titan zombies, but done stupidly. Good example.
Yeah, the zombies thing coming up again.
The Titans are zombies. If anyone hadn't realized that, just to shatter your delusions, they're not creative. They're not inventive. They're just zombies, but they're tall.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you're coming after fans like that, then I got to go after some fans. And I think I'd go after a lot of fans with my pick here with One Piece as my number 1.
That's worse than what I said.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because it is, bro.
I think enough people hate on, or and again, I'm really stretching the definition of hate. It's more so I've ranked this list on emotions being evoked.
Sure.
And I was pissed off with The Witcher. The Office, quantity-wise, ends up bothering me a lot, just of how many times I run into it and people don't know what the fuck else to say about themselves. Westworld for the missed potential. And One Piece, Similar to The Office, honestly. Except I haven't seen One Piece and I have no desire. And I actually think I have some legitimate gripes about the show, having having never seen it. And the easiest, I think, just being One Piece is a contingent story. Okay, it is not. There are arcs, of course, like like there are arcs in Naruto and other shows, but like Naruto, to my understanding, and I'm very confident in this, it is a consistent story that follows pretty much the same characters until the end for a pretty narrow purpose. Okay,
Sure.
that is the One Piece. Okay, here's the problem with that. You can't make that 2,000 fucking episodes
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
because
whoa! They're only at like 1,200, bro. Calm down.
I think they're at like 13. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But I think
I
it's
have it
at
written
least.
down somewhere. Hold on. I'll
I
check.
don't know. Yeah, I didn't. You're probably closer to being correct than I am,
Yeah,
honestly.
just under 1,200
Um,
right now,
just under 1,200. Well, golly me,
which is still
my
fucking
mistake.
crazy. Yeah.
We'll call it 1150, 1100, whatever. Legitimately, my problem is like and forget the filler even necessarily, right? Like Shippuden had a ton of filler, but my point is not even necessarily that they're not getting to the point of stories, because I talk with friends who watch and I see some discourse online, like there's some cool storylines, some cool stuff happens, but you can't fucking keep me interested in a show above basically 500 episodes, and even then 500 is starting to push it, if you are legitimately like, if it's something like Powerpuff Girls, or you know there's no real contingent storyline, it's just episode to episode, it's whatever,
Mm-hmm.
fine. I'd watch 1,000 of those because it doesn't fucking matter. But or 10, it doesn't even matter at that point how many you watch. But to make it so many episodes, you're not getting anywhere. The quality, not even most of their fault, because they're shooting back in what, the fucking like 80s or 90s or whatever. Like the quality varies kind of a lot, not just because of that, but also like, again, I've seen some shit. I'm mostly taking this from what I think to be relatively somewhat consensus opinion. Like there's some parts that are pretty low or boring for could be hundreds of episodes. It is not uncommon to see people say, wait until episode 300, 400, 200,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And that is like actual advice and not satire. And I know like 1,000 episodes would be satire, but that's not what people are saying. So it's probably a great show. It's probably an all-timer. That being said, just because it seems like the quality has been very high for a long time, impressive, great. That's cool. Despite that, for the reasons I've mentioned, plus just the simple fact that you're trying to tell a story through that distance seems so stupid to me. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. It does feel like,
Even if the source material is like that too.
yeah,
Like,
which it is, but it's still
long.
like, yeah,
Why is he still writing it?
yeah.
And I think that's been a discussion in the community as well. Is like, why was it still going for so long? I don't know if they finally written the ending or not. But like, I think people were asking those questions at some point.
Yeah. I was looking this up a couple weeks ago. I think that they're like, he's getting close to the end is what was
That's what
said,
I've heard.
or something like
That's
that.
what I've heard.
But not quite there yet. But even then, it's like damn, bro. Like,
Could that be 100, 200, 300?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
What
don't know.
what does close mean when you're like over 1,000 chapters into a story? You know what I mean? It's
And
like,
if you're trying to convince me, and there's really only, in my mind, I'm just gonna intentionally oversimplify it. But in my mind, there's two outcomes. There's two defenses or explanations, so to speak, for the reason maybe why it has this many episodes. One is, if you're gonna fucking tell me that at the end of it, let's say it ends up being 1,250 episodes, whatever. If you're gonna tell me at the end of it that he planned the 1,250 episodes, then first of all, you're a fucking liar, and he started making up some shit at some point when he was writing it, which translated to the show. I'm not even saying that like they're making up, but you get the idea. He took too fucking long, whatever. Or let's be generous and say that was the fucking plan. That's a dumb plan to have it drawn out that long. It's a dumb plan. And by that principle and no other measures, I will not watch One Piece. I'll see a clip here and there, but like someone is forcing me to watch that. I never seek out that content. Ever.
Yeah.
And I'm annoyed at the fan base, but it's like any anime fan base. So you can't even. It's just too much, though. It's like it's a little too much.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
It does seem like highly unlikely, because I mean, even just thinking about it as like working on stories or anything like that I've ever written,
it doesn't make sense.
And I'm like, even stuff that
George R.R. Martin is making progress, and he at least has the end in mind. He just takes he just doesn't write. He just doesn't do it.
Right.
He doesn't get up off his fucking fat ass.
And also, George R.R. Martin writing, what is it, like 15 Song of Ice and Fire books, whatever. It's like that is not even remotely the same thing as 1,300 episodes of like that is an insanely higher amount. Like that's so much more writing than like you could probably fit all of like the Game of Thrones books inside of a One Piece book like 4 times over. That's how much of One Piece there is. And it's just like it's not like this. So like you could argue like if someone said like, oh well, yeah, George wrote out a whole fucking 15 book whatever it is whatever it is outline at some point, I'd be like, okay, maybe like that's still kind of wild, but maybe but still there's a certain point where it's just like there's no way that you weren't like when you were writing chapter 700 as opposed to chapter 3 that you didn't come up with a new idea at some point and be like, this is way better, so I'm gonna make this having been led to this all along, even though that's not what I originally thought 700 chapters ago.
No way it meant to go on this long, and I'm being charitable with that. Like, I think that's in the sense that I think that's the better outcome, because if you did plan it on so many episodes, so fucking dumb.
Yeah. Which just seems unfeasible. Like, doesn't seem feasible because it's like when do because like that would take like that mean that you like planned for like a whole decade before you started writing. Then you started writing for another 25 years. It's like, so you're telling me you dedicated a full like no breaks, nothing, like 50 years into one story, and it's like it's not the same thing as like if you're an author, like if George R.R. Martin's like who I don't know how long it took him to write all of the books, but like if it took him let's say it took him 30 years,
I think he wrote in quick fashion, but
that's my point.
A couple of them took longer.
It didn't literally take him 30 years. He wrote maybe for like 2 years and then took a break.
Correct.
And then
took a lot of breaks.
Took a break for like 5 years and then wrote for like another year and then took whatever. The complete timeline is it took him 30 years to write the full book series, but he wasn't writing for 30 years straight without doing anything else or taking breaks or whatever the case might be. Whereas in One Piece's case, he
wasn't producing 20 years worth of content in 20 years.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He didn't day. Yeah, because I mean, if you wrote it like honestly, if you're a good writer and you're planning everything out and you write, like say that's your whole job, right? So you write for as long as a normal person works. Like you write like 9 to 5 basically.
Sure. Yeah.
If you did that every day of every year, you could write a book once a year easily. So like if so in George R.R. Martin's case, it's like you're right. He did not write 30 years worth of books in 30 years. He wrote maybe like 14 years worth of books in 30 years.
High quality.
Yeah, but still, it's quality depends on, attention to detail and skill, whatever, not necessarily time. It's just like
but if we just go by time.
But even then, whereas like One Piece, it's like that's 20 years by 20 years or whatever. Like it's exact.
It shakes the notion of what I understand as like a narrative structure and being able to critique it and like you could tell me it's peak all day, but I'll be honest, if I start going up, don't let me dare go to IMDb right now and see anything less than a fucking 10 for every episode. if it's that fucking good. And guess what? Am I gonna see some sevens, folks? Am I gonna see some sixes? Am I gonna see anything less than that? I guarantee you, I'm gonna see sixes. And if I'm seeing fucking sixes in this show, I don't care if it's 1,200 episodes. People are saying it's fucking peak every fucking day, all the time. Then guess what? I'm not fucking watching it. And maybe it is peak.
Yeah, bro.
Maybe
Look,
it is.
okay, so starting with episode 5 of One
Yeah.
Piece. Episode 5 is a 7.4.
Okay, not bad.
It does not go back up above a 7 until episode
6.7.
until episode 17.
I see a 6.7 on there, Michael.
But yeah, very beginning of the show though, episode 5, 7.4. It doesn't go back up above 8 until episode 17, and then right after that is when it drops to that 6.7, and then it goes back down to like 7s for a few episodes, and then there's a 9 in there, and then like 2 more 7s.
Yeah, ironically, the live action better than the show.
There are a lot of 7s actually scrolling through this, and okay, that's like 2 6s in a row. There's another 6. There's another 6. Oh my god, there's like 4 6s in a row. Oh my god, there's 5 6s in a row.
Yeah, you ready, bro?
Oh my god,
you're not ready.
And there's like there's like 5 7s after that. Oh my god, there's 2 more 6s.
Let's do it by years, I guess. Fuck. Let's go to the modern era. Let's do 2012.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I want to say I watched like the first 10-ish episodes of One Piece. And okay, and now people are gonna be mad about this.
It's mid.
And I think you mentioned this. I think you mentioned this a little bit when you were just talking about your reasons. But
6.6, 6.6.
When I was watching Dragon Ball, for example, which is a massive undertaking, you know, watching all 3 of those shows, but it was so difficult for me to watch Dragon Ball, the original one, and then even parts of Dragon Ball Z, because the way that they used to animate anime back then, I hate how it looks. I hate it so much, and One Piece looks like that for such a long time. And I'm not talking like, because you'll see people that defend One Piece where they're like people who say the characters look weird or whatever. I'm like, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the actual designs of how shit looks. I'm talking about the way that animation looked in the 90s and early 2000s, especially for anime. I fucking hate it, bro. Like it just looks so grainy and like stiff, and like I can't do it. And so A, there was that, and then B, I can't remember, you know, and it was good. Like it was decent the first 10, 15, whatever, however many episodes I watched. But I was just like, at one point after
it's not good enough for me to watch 1,200 episodes.
Yeah, after
you need to convince me. I've seen way too many 6s and low 7s.
Yeah.
Scrolling through every fucking year, including the recent years.
Yeah, and it's like, and I got, you know, however far I got, and then I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I was like. I have so many other things to read or watch or video games to play. I do not have
my whole fucking life, man.
Yeah, I don't.
6.4.
Exactly. I don't have the time to watch this show, especially because, like, yeah, you're right. Because it's like what you said. If you had started watching One Piece, or if I had started watching One Piece,
the opportunity cost, bro, is crazy.
And it was like a 9.9 out of 10 every episode, I'd be like, maybe it's worth the time sink. But it doesn't feel that way. Even off rip, it doesn't feel that way. It's like, it seems interesting and cool or whatever, and I would probably watch it if it were like 100 episodes. But
exactly, if it was 100 episodes and had the same ratio of like mid episodes to good episodes, it might be worth watching. But if I'm wasting, because of the fact that it goes on for so long, I've seen like at least 20 6s. By the way, and if you start to extrapolate that over the data set being generous, then I'm going to spend hours watching fucking mid. How the fuck is the show the best show on planet Earth if I'm watching hours of mid? How is that possible?
Yeah. especially if it's like in a row too. Like it'd be one thing if it was like
5.8, 5.7.
yeah, it'd be one thing.
I
if,
knew I was gonna find some fives, bro. And this is 20. This is what 2019. I'm trying to go recent.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if there were like if it was a few sixes and fives scattered throughout, 1,000 episodes.
Right.
But the fact that
But it's too
sometimes,
long, Michael, you just can't.
but what's the fact that sometimes it's like 7 fives in a row, and it's like,
Yeah.
no.
I will say, it seems like they're cooking in 2021. That this whole season might be nines. Okay, it's not, and it's not even eights. So you know what, folks? I spoke too soon. 5.3 it ends with. So it's like, come on, bro. I think it's actually the lowest I've seen so far.
Yeah. I was just looking at like what Dragon Ball Super's ratings were.
5.0, folks. 5.0.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like, how can you say it, man?
Yeah, I honestly was not expecting there to be that many low episode scores on there. I'm not gonna lie, like I did not think it was gonna be that bad. Because that's now it just seems weird. Now it seems like the One Piece fandom might just be glazing the shit out of One Piece.
Michael,
because it's like I have heard it said repeatedly by One Piece fans that it is like the greatest story ever told, and I'm like nothing that there is nothing that is considered the greatest story ever told in any medium that has a 5.0 anywhere on it. Like
exactly, there's my fucking point. Exactly my fucking point.
It just doesn't exist. Like
that's basically what I'm saying. 5.7, 5.4.
And this
is 2024.
Even shows, like I'm gonna use a great example. Okay, even like a show that I would say is in, and I have said is in my like top 5, and is one of my favorite things ever. I would not have the audacity to say it's one of the greatest things ever written because it has it has just one, but like still, it has one like 4.7 or some shit like that, and that's The 100. Just a great example off rip. I fucking love that shit. Yeah. But like,
pour The 100.
But man. It has one episode, and granted, the reason it has a 4.7 is not necessarily bad writing. It's people being angry that Bellamy died. But beside the point, if that was a consequence of a writing pigeonhole that they ended up in because of something that happened in real life. So like, whatever, you can analyze it however you want, but still, you can't get around the fact that a show or any story, for any story to be considered the greatest of all time or one of the greatest of all times, you can't. There just can't be something that you can't have a section of the story that you're like, this is like a 4 out of 10. You just can't, or a 5 out of 10.
Some of them are specials and stuff, and probably some filler, but it's way too many. I know it's not all,
but still, like,
and I could tell it's at like.
The thing is,
alongside like important shit.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is that filler counts. Whether or not you want it to count, it counts.
I also agree with that because like Naruto filler has some cringe shit in it. Naruto filler also has some awesome arcs, but like it never approaches anything. No filler in Naruto is a fucking 5. Like that is crazy. That is insane. And maybe I don't. Did Naruto even have specials? I guess maybe it did. I don't remember watching it, but I just kind of watched it all at once. But wow. By the way, rest in peace, Sam Neill. Rip. Jurassic Park, man.
Yeah. Naruto has a handful of 6s, but I don't see anything below that. It has like a handful of 6.5s ish. But
some of the filler was cringe for sure.
Okay. Let's see.
I'd be curious to see what Shippuden looks like.
Okay, we got 5 5s in a row for Naruto. That's tragic.
No.
Oh, there's another 5.
Let me see Shippuden.
Nope, there's another 5. Oh, there's 3 more. Oh my god, okay, people were getting annoyed at the end of this show. What the hell? 2 more, 2 more, 3 more, 2 more.
Is it
Jesus
fucking specials
Christ.
too, man? Are all specials just fucking ass?
I don't know. Oh my god, a 4.6. Naruto might need some help.
Is this like the original?
Yeah,
Naruto?
this is original Naruto. Yeah.
Okay, I will admit the cringiest filler was definitely in.
Okay, there's a lot of 5s in the original Naruto.
Okay, it's gotta be the filler because I skipped all filler.
There's a lot of 5s. Let's see what Shippuden's up to.
Yeah, I've been going through Shippuden. I've seen a 6, but I know that's filler. Like I recognize so far everything that's a 6 I recognize as filler. Yeah, this is
Honestly, a few 6s in there is passable.
Not filler,
But...
6.7, not great, but
okay, there's a lot of 6s in a row right now. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you right there.
That was like 15 in a row. That was crazy.
Okay, this is filler. Okay, so the problem is there's a ton of filler. So I will say Shippuden is like 55% filler or something ridiculous. So
Okay.
Shippuden is...
But I don't think
it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
It also alternates a lot.
The first 5 I saw was like 150 episodes in, though, so that's not terrible, I guess. And then there's like 5 9.8s in a row.
There's a much lower. There's definitely a lower ratio.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, though.
This is one thing.
You're talking about
the 5s is another.
Yeah,
I've only seen a couple.
Yeah, it's only a handful of 5s.
I think everything is. Anyways,
but yeah.
My point was made before that in any event, but you can't take that fucking long.
Yeah.
It's actually brain dead to do that. It makes no sense, and it leaves yourself open to these problems of like quantity of episodes, not the ratio, excuse me, the quantity. It leads to a bunch of it, and it does affect I think it affects your legacy.
Yep. I like that. I like that we finished both our number ones shitting on anime that people love.
True. We both did that. I was, yeah. You know what? You can't even disagree with that. Yeah, exactly what happened.
All right.
You want to do the next thing?
Yeah. Do you want
to? It's getting a little late.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll just do one more thing and then we'll probably call it. Do you want to do the
Alrighty.
You want to do like the top 5 horror movies, or do you want to do like the games thing, like good plat versus terrible plat?
Let's do horror.
All right, cool. All right, my number 5 for top 5 horror movies is Insidious 2.
Oh, what a great pick! What a great pick! Insidious those movies are great.
Yeah. The first 2 anyway.
But 2, I think, does a fantastic job. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I remember when I watched those movies, like the first time, it was like the first.
You being scared.
Yeah, I feel like it was like the first horror movie I watched where I was like, okay, this is actually.
I was more scared by Insidious than I was of The Conjuring.
Yeah, The Conjuring's not scary. The Conjuring's hilarious.
It's a good. I will say, Conjuring, great movie. It's not. It wasn't scary. That scary to me at all.
Yeah, I don't mean it's funny. I don't mean it was hilarious and like it's not good. I just mean like I thought it was. I thought it was funny like how they were getting.
Moments.
I just thought like how they got. That's my issue with horror movies. A lot of the time I just find them funny, like how stupid the characters are, or like the way that like the demons or whatever are messing with them is hilarious to me.
They played into it a little bit in Conjuring, which I felt like was better.
Like Paranormal Activity. Those movies are so fucking funny because the demons in those movies are just trolling them. They're not even like doing anything that bad. They're just fucking with them. They're just like, there's one scene.
They do a bad job of setting the scene.
I think in like Paranormal Activity 3, there's like one part where there's like a little girl or something and she's like trying to leave the room and the ghost doesn't want her to, or the demon or whatever, and it grabs her by her ponytail and it starts dragging her back and forth across the room like super fast, and I was dying, bro. Like that shit was so funny. I was like, that's not scary. That's hilarious because it's like, you know, the corner.
Anytime they get dragged, that's
Yeah,
how it is.
it's like the corner cam in like in the room, so it just makes it funnier because it seems like it's like a funniest home videos video, but then it's a demon dragging this little girl, bro. That shit is hilarious. Yeah, those movies aren't scary at all. But yeah, Insidious and Insidious 2 is both the Insidious movies are fucking peak.
Agreed. Yeah, I love both of them too.
All right, you're 5.
All right, we're gonna go. Ooh, I almost kind of want to switch it between two classics here, and I think I almost kind of want to balk the last second, but I'm gonna. Ooh, actually, yeah, let's do Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh, that's solid.
As my 5. I really like. I think that movie holds up actually pretty damn well. For such an old movie, I was thinking of Halloween. Honestly, and I really like Halloween, but I don't want it on my list for a top 5. But it's good for an honorable mention. But yeah, Halloween. I mean, not Halloween. Geez, Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, the horror elements are great.
Yeah.
It's scary. It actually is scary. Yeah. Even when you know about, you're like, oh, I know Freddy Krueger. Like I've seen him on Halloween. Like I'm not scared of Freddy Krueger because you already got in your head like, oh, it's just a fucking guy, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you watch the movie and you're like, whoa, what the fuck is happening? Holy fuck! And you're scared.
Yeah, I think like the song at the beginning, like the Freddy's Coming for You song. That's like my favorite thing ever. I love that shit.
The sound design in that movie is actual peak. If you want to use a term that's improperly applied to One Piece, let's use it on something that deserves it. And that is talk about, imagine going through your life and watching 1,000 episodes of One Piece and not seeing Nightmare on Elm Street. What a waste of your fucking time.
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street will only take you like an hour and 50 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, hour and a half at most. Like it's not that long. But I rewatched this on a plane somewhat recently, I think. And it was, yeah.
Yeah, that movie is great. And like honestly, like the whole the concept of how he attacks people is so unique, and the fact that like there's no way to beat it really. It's just like,
yeah, literally you have to do some wild fucking shit to beat it. Well, the fact that and the fact that you, unlike a lot of horror movies where everyone's scared, but like people are actively trying to like solve it and actually think of logical fucking ways to beat it.
Yeah,
is cool. Is fucking cool, and it's still scary as fuck.
Yeah, as opposed to just like screaming and running away and hoping that works.
Right. Like another thing I almost put on this list was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which starts to go from horror into other stuff, but there's not a ton of that type of element in that movie. It's mostly just the thriller, suspense of it all.
More of like a slasher thing,
Yeah. And that's kind of what Halloween ends up kind of being too, is it like ends up being a little too slasher and a little not like pure horror, whatever. That's like, I don't know. You'd have to. No, everyone's different, but that's
how I was thinking about it when I was making my list. Just like, because there are like certain slasher things that I probably like more than some of the stuff I put on this list.
I love Scream.
Yeah, like Scream's a great example. But like Scream's not horror. Like Scream's not scary. It's a slasher movie. It's not even remotely the same thing.
It's great, but it's actually about hilarious.
That is funny. Yeah, Scream's funny.
Scream in some ways is funnier than Scary Movie. Yeah. Which is hilarious.
Ghostface is literally always funny in every single one of those movies.
True.
But yeah. My number 4 is Insidious 1.
Okay, nice. I was in my head, I was like, I do like Insidious 1 a little bit more than Insidious 2, so I wonder, but yeah, that's fair.
It's also just like the fact that those movies are literally like a part 1 and part 2. I was like, I can't not have them both.
Right. I thought probably Insidious 1, without thinking too hard, scariest movie I've ever watched. Like legitimately, at the time,
Oh, okay.
I felt scared. Like actual scary fucking movie.
Yeah, I would agree. I remember the first time I saw that. Like, that's how much of like, an impact it was. Like, I can remember where I was and who I was with
The
and
jump scares
everything.
in Conjuring were good, but they were, whatever. The shit in Insidious was like injected into your soul.
Yeah, and like, all the stuff like in behind the red door too, like in the red faced demon's lair and shit, and even just like when they're first talking to it, when what's her face has like the fucking snorkel mask thing on, and you can hear like the whispering, but you can't actually understand what it's saying and stuff like that. And it's just
that's like, your heart is dropping. You're like freaking you're like, what the fuck?
Even just the way they did the very first shot where you first see it, when like they're going in Dalton's room and the door's opening like this way, and it's in the corner back here, so you can't see it until the door's all the way open, and then you just see its hand going up, like pointing at him, and it's, like, bro, like, it's literally, I don't know if you remember, but if you've seen movies recently that have it, but if like the modern Blumhouse, their like intro logo thing on their movies, it's like in that, because it shows all the different horror movies they've been attached to over the years, obviously, and that's nice. Like one of the shots of it is the red-faced demon like pointing at the bed and stuff like that, and I'm like, it's just so iconic.
It's a very iconic moment.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. Insidious is so good, man. All right. Year 4?
Well, this is going to be a large deviation from that kind of thing, but 4, I went classic here. We're going leadership and legacy, Michael. What am I thinking? Leadership and legacy.
I have no idea, bro.
We're going Jaws.
Okay.
Going Jaws.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I never would have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. It's an inside reference, but Jaws. I was thinking in my head, best horror movies. Jaws has to be on this list, and for some of the same reasons that like Nightmare from Elm Street is on the list, and why I think it edges it out. But like, again, music was fantastic. The actual like being scared. Another movie where like some of the jump scares actually got me in Jaws.
Yeah.
I like 2 vividly come to mind, and I think for most people, when you see that movie, you have at least those 1 or 2 come to mind in terms of like, if that's your first time watching, you haven't seen it in a while. But even besides like the actual scariness of it, like sense of dread, the setting they paint, the characterization is done really well, extremely well. All 3 of the main characters, are done extremely well. Even the wife is also done really well. So yeah, it's a top 3 horror movie. Is that what I said, or top 4?
4, I think.
It's up there.
But yeah, all right. It's solid choice. All around. My number 3 is gonna be
so quotable.
Yeah, true. My number 3 is gonna be Smile 2.
Oh wow. Okay, people did like these the movie.
Dude, the Smile Demon might be the scariest thing ever, because it's just like
the concept is kind of wacky.
Yeah,
but
it seems like it works cool. So well though. Like, yeah, like on its face, it's like it seems like it could have the potential to be silly, but like it's just it works so well. But it's almost kind of like what you said about, or what you were just saying about like Freddy being like he's almost unbeatable. Like, it's so difficult to get away from it. But like the Smile Demon takes it like a step further, where it just straight up can't lose. And like so like part of the obviously part of the suspense of those movies is just like, you obviously in the first movie you don't know, because obviously it's the first movie, but in the second movie you know that everyone's fucked. but like they don't know that, and
Right.
so like that adds like a different element to it. But just the way that they do,
Final Destination.
yeah, the way that they do, yeah, kind of, yeah. But the way that they do all of like the way that the Smile Demon fucks with them is so it's so creepy all of the time. Like and obviously whenever they get the characters to do the creepy smile, or not the characters, the actors to do the creepy smile and stuff like that, it's always done so well, and they do such a good job in those movies with like, uh, you know, with shadows and stuff in doorways, especially. There's like where it's like darkness that's not real. Where like if you look in like an empty dark doorway in real life, you can't actually.
Right.
It's not actually pitch black. Like you can see a little bit.
Sure.
Even if there's no light in the room itself, you can still see a little bit. But they do such a great job in both movies of having a character looking down like a dark hallway or into it through a doorway, and it is just like pitch black, and you're just like every and they'll stay on the doorway for so long, and every second that goes by you're just like scooting back farther in your seat, like please don't do it. Like please stop. It's so great. Yeah,
Like that.
and the way that it messes with them psychologically too, because it can like, have you seen those movies? It can like mess with like it's not just like a physical, and like it can mess like with what you perceive as well. So
Okay.
like what you're
Yeah,
seeing isn't
sure.
actually happening sometimes, but sometimes it is. So like
Reality, huh?
so the way it plays with that is also just really well done. You should watch those movies. They're fucking terrifying.
I mean, shit. That's not a bad suggestion, that's for sure. Huh. Yeah, I've definitely heard people. I do remember people liking those movies. Um, and I do hear. I do remember seeing a lot of people liking. Like, didn't Smile 2 come out recently? Was it last year?
Yeah, something like, I think it was last year, yeah.
Fair. Well, my number 3
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be also 80s, I think. Was Jaws 80s or 60s? Anyways, it was old. The Thing. We're going to The Thing. Awesome,
Solid
awesome
classic.
movie. I don't think I have to explain myself too much here, but I will say is good for a lot of the same reasons. Well, actually, I'll get to that later. But the thing is fantastic. The slow mystery of it, and then that transforming into, but like you feel uneasy the whole time already, to learning what's going on, and then the development of your psyche just deteriorating rapidly, basically,
Yeah.
realizing what's happening and how futile it all is, and like how can they get out of this, basically. The scares are pretty good as well, and just like, yeah, they do a fantastic job in The Thing. It's like, it's a little mystery along with horror, but I think it falls neatly into horror. It also just looks insane. Another movie that should not hold up as good as it does.
Oh, just like how
Honestly.
everything looks actually.
At least Jaws is like, it holds up well, but you could tell it's dated. You watch it, you know you're fucking watching an old movie.
Yeah.
The Thing, you really only know you're watching an old movie unless you're watching it like fucking VHS. Because like Kurt Russell's like fucking young as
Sure,
and that's,
sure.
and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah.
Outside of that, you don't really you don't tell as much. So
Solid. I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
it's a certified classic for sure. It's got a lot of similarities with my top movie on the list for me.
Okay.
I would say
Interesting.
and for some of the same reasons, it's good.
Whoa. Oh yeah. Okay. My number 2 is Obsession. That shit was so peak, bro.
I should have seen Obsession by now, but I'm watching it in the next couple of days, probably.
Just fucking banger.
But it may make this list.
Yeah, I almost thought like I couldn't put it on here because at first I was thinking it's more of like a psychological thriller thing than horror. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, no, there's a lot of scary shit in that movie, and maybe not necessarily not like I don't know if it's so much jump scaring. Like there is that's still in there, but it's less that and more just like
fear as an emotion.
Yeah. It's more just like you just don't want anything.
That's what I try to gauge it off.
Yeah, you don't. It's like you're sitting there and you're just like, I want all of this to stop immediately. It just like it's all horrible and it's horrifying and it needs to go away. But there are still some decent jump scare moments in there too. Because because Uzair and I watched that together. I remember we were watching it. We were both just like, please fucking everything is so like, please stop. Like,
good. Yeah, I like to hear that.
It's great. But yeah, well, that's my number 2.
Fair enough. Well, is this the oldest movie on my list? I have to check. I think it is. Let's see. That was this year. And what was Jaws? Jaws was in the 80s, right? Oh, 1975 was Jaws. Wow. 1975 was Jaws. Well, this is a little bit older. I'm going to go 2. Also, okay. I'm paying homage, or I'm paying my respects, so to speak. We're going The Exorcist. We're going way back. Now, in terms of movies that hold up, this holds up well, but there are definitely some parts of this movie that do not hold up well, like visually. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, this is one of the best horror movies of all time, easily. And I think should be in a lot of like top 3s, top 5s. No matter really where you put the order, but it does the Conjuring formula. Obviously, it invented it basically, but it does it whether because it invented it or not. It does it the best, extremely well, and you're not as bored as you are in a lot of these fucking versions of that, where you're just like, okay. Just get to the point where shit starts fucking happening and whatever, a lot of, or basically rushing through the narrative in other cases just to get to that point. I think they do a really good balance of like, they don't rush it. They get to the good shit. You're gripped the entire time. You don't need to have all the shit shaking in your front of your face. But then when it is, it's that crazier. So, but okay, a classic from the 70s. Gotta pay my respects.
Nice. I don't think I've seen that either.
I haven't seen it more than like 2 or 3 times at most. And probably the last time I saw it was over 10 years ago, easily.
Yeah.
But it does hold up. And I probably, actually, that's a lie. I probably did see it like 3 to 5 years ago. And that's how I know that it holds up reasonably well. But still.
Yeah, I think it's just like a weird...
You gotta see that at some point.
Yeah. Probably. I just think it's like a weird thing for me when it comes to horror. Like, I feel like there's probably a lot of horror movies I haven't seen. Just because...
Well, it should be on the short list. I agree with you. There's a lot. And there's also some that maybe they're not worth revisiting.
Well, I just mean just because...
I would put this on the short list.
Yeah. But there's just like very few times where I watch a horror movie and I'm like...
It's not your really favorite genre.
Where it's actually scary. Because like for me, like if we're talking about like pure horror, like no slashers, no thriller, none of like the offshoot stuff included. It's like if I'm not actually nervous or scared or whatever watching the movie, then it fails in my eyes. So I'm just and not necessarily fails, but fails as like a horror movie. So like I can still enjoy it even if I don't think it's scary. But it's like I wouldn't say, oh, it's a top horror movie if it didn't scare me, right? And I feel like most horror movies I watch, I feel like they're mostly predictable, or I find them funny. So I'm just like the Conjuring movies are great, but like, I don't find any of those even remotely scary. So like, I would never put them in a top 5 or whatever. Like, it didn't even occur to me because I was just like, I wasn't scared when I watched them. But
Fair.
not saying that The
I mean,
Exorcist would
that's
automatically fall into that, but because maybe it is actually scary, but I wouldn't
felt
know.
like I would compare it to The Shining. Like, okay, The Shining has some scary moments. By and large, I think The Shining also great movie, all timer for sure. The reason I don't have it on the list is because the more so the definition of horror. Like, is The Shining a horror movie? Yes. It has a lot of those elements, yes, but I do think it's not as scary as I would like it to be. I enjoy it. I love Stephen King, but not like just not as scary
I mean, it's kind of like
as
bringing up Stephen King. It's like I would never put it anywhere near this ranking.
Agreed.
Because like it is horror, but it's not. It's like it's a supernatural like god thing that's fucking with a bunch of kids, and it's pretty funny most of the time. Like
right. It does it if it quacks like a duck. I think that's it's the eyeball test, as they say.
Yeah.
Like
it's like there's no part of that movie where Pennywise is scary to me. I'm like Pennywise is just funny or like cool. He's not scary.
The first time, during the very very beginning, they set a decent stage, and like the first time there's like a jump scare. Outside of that, nothing.
Yeah, like the very beginning when he bites what's his face's arm off or whatever. It's like
right. That's scary. That was a jump scare. That was. But like after that, you're.
But even then,
it's a good movie.
I wouldn't say that it scared me as much as it was just kind of like this kid's so fucked. Like it was just like the whole scene. Like the anticipation is there, sure, and like the suspense and everything.
Right.
But even when he like his jaw opens up and then he bites him, it's like I was not scared. I was like, that kid is scared. And it's not that it wasn't crazy, and it's not like I don't feel the intensity of it or anything like that, but I don't feel fear at all. I'm just kind of like, damn, I didn't think they were going to murder a kid right away. Like that's crazy.
Right. Yeah. And the shock value, I think sometimes can be scary, but sometimes it's just surprising.
Yeah.
And not scary. It was a little scary for me, but outside of that, the movie was not scary.
The show is really good. Have you watched it?
I've heard the show is good as well.
Dude, the show might be better than both movies. The show was fucking good, dog.
It's good.
It was definitely better than the second movie.
Well.
Which isn't necessarily difficult to do, but not that the second movie's bad, but it's
agreed, but like compared to the first.
Yeah. It might be better than the first movie though. It was so good.
Yep.
But yeah. Did I say my number one? Oh no, I didn't. Okay, yeah. My number one is the first Smile.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just terrifying.
Wow.
All the same reasons I was glazing the second one.
I'll be honest, that one, just because it's gimmicky, it scared me off initially. But obviously, like I watched It Follows, I know those shows can do really well.
Yeah, I just remember I remember watching like the first, maybe not the first, but like one of the earlier trailers for that movie, and I just remember like right after I watched that trailer, I was like, this is either going to be like the best horror movie ever, or it's going to be really, really bad, and there's not going to be any in between.
Okay.
And it was the first one.
So that's what you went into.
Yeah.
And you came out. It was great. It was the best.
I mean, that movie was so good that like every horror movie I've seen in the past few years since that came out, I was literally like, everything is measuring up against Smile, basically. Like every horror movie that came out after Smile, I was like waiting for the next Smile, essentially. And even like Smile 2, even like, and I would give
I actually forgot I did see the original Smile.
Yeah. And I would give it
I totally remember this movie.
Yeah. I would give it to Smile 2, but like, it's the same movie essentially. So I was like, I can't, you can't dethrone yourself. But then Obsession came along, and I was like, and then when I watched Obsession, I was like, that's not better than Smile, I don't think, but that's the best thing since Smile. Like that's the first truly great horror movie since Smile came out, and that was like, I don't remember when Smile came out, like 2021 or something like that. So
yeah, 2022.
The first one, damn, I didn't realize they made them that fast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then Smile 2 was 2024.
But yeah, that was Yeah, Smile's so good. The girl that
Smile 2 received a lot better by the critics than Smile 1, but
they did, I think they improved on, like, not improved, but they did have more creative, a few more creative things
still
with,
kind of similar on Letterbox 3.2, 2.9.
yeah, with how the Smile Demon like was behaving and stuff like that. In the second movie, they were a little bit more creative with it, I think, but like I said, you already kind of knew the deal though, so it was a little bit less scary off rip, just because it was just like, okay, I know what this thing is and what it can do, so I'm not like,
Sure.
I'm not scared because I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm like scared because it's creepy. But yeah, the first girl in the first Smile, the very first girl that like does the creepy smile and everything, she should have been in the movie longer because her smile is just absolutely horrifying. She's probably like the girl on the poster.
What I took out of the movie.
Like, yeah, her smile is just terrifying.
Damn. Well, my number one should come as no surprise. It's Alien.
Yep.
End of show.
I figured as much.
No, what do the kids say now? No notes.
No notes.
No notes.
10 out of 10. No notes. Absolute cinema. The kids say that a lot.
I think I've had it in other lists. I feel like I've talked about it some, but I mean, yeah, as horror movies go, if we're going by if it's best horror movies, then yeah, Alien. And that's what I was saying about The Thing. Is The Thing and Alien are actually a lot similar in terms of like kind of the formula and how things are revealed and like the pacing.
Sure.
And the quality. But Alien is just a building block of what these horror movies should be. And when you've seen it as many times as I have, it's not going to scare you really as much.
Right.
But like within the first 2, 3, 5 watches, like there's points you're getting scared. Even if it's not like all these big jump scare schemes, there's a couple, but really not a lot. It's more so the dread, like The Thing again. It's the dread, the suspense.
Yeah.
The stuff you hear, the stuff you don't see. The storytelling in that movie is insane. But yeah, easy number one. It's like to think about it.
Every time you watch that movie, when they go down to the ship for the first time, and what's his face is like getting closer to the eggs, and you're just like, don't do it, bro. you're like,
yep,
don't do it. And then he does it anyway.
I just realized my movies are so fucking old, man. Nightmare on Elm Street's 1984. Jaws is 1975. The Thing, I think, is 1980. It's 1982. Exorcist is 73. And Alien is, 81?
Something like that. 79?
79.
Nailed it.
Wow. Still, I'm looking at these scores and I think it's still underrated. 4.2 underrated. Letterboxd. What the hell? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's underrated.
4.2?
What is that, like an 8.4?
4. But that's not, it's definitely weighted, it always feels like it's weighted higher on Letterboxd, like a 4 point, because they don't give out, they'll never give out a 5. And they, like 4.5 is basically perfect, which means you're saying that 9 is perfect, which means you have to move the whole fucking scale.
Right, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. But anyways, beside the point.
But yeah,
that's crazy. Average age of my fucking list is probably like 1980. But hey, what are you gonna do? It's been a while. But I will watch Obsession, and you know what? Next time, if I've seen Obsession, I'll say what movie was better than on this list.
Obsession's so good, man.
I'm looking forward to it. I've said before, I think maybe in the episode, but I've seen the YouTube channel. I've seen the
Oh yeah.
the folks that run the YouTube channel. I was watching their shit for a while, and then I literally only connected like 2 weeks ago that it was the same people. I saw it in like some of the comments of the YouTube video.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck. Then because some of their shorts and some of their videos are a little bit like how the movie goes.
Yeah, like kind of creepy vibes or whatever. Yeah.
Right. The vibes, the style. It's not like they do it. Sometimes they just do other shit, but like they do a lot of that. It's kind of their fucking thing. So yeah, looking forward to it. That and the Backrooms, and I'm sure Backrooms is gonna blow it out of the water according to you, but
it won't, but you know.
I don't think it will.
It might paddle calmly through the water. It's not gonna be like the worst thing you've ever seen, but
yeah. Okay, good.
It's okay.
I do want to watch it. Apparently, it's like one of the top grossing horror movies, which I mean, it's just going to be inflation problem at that point. But anyways,
it's just video game fans glazing it, bro. It's like
true. That's probably fair.
I mean, the Backrooms elements are done well. I said that before, but
that is what you said. Yeah.
Everything else is kind of mid. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to have to be it for this episode. It's getting super late. So.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be it for this episode. I already said the thing about other YouTube videos on the channel, so we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.